This is Adelaide's FIVEaa.
Partly cloudy and 26 today with the 6 o'clock news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
FIVEaa Extra is a registered NDIS provider, so let them support you in achieving your goals. FIVEaAextra.com.
South Australia will lead the nation in the rollout of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Frontline workers in Murray Bridge will be the first to receive the jab today. Unlike the FIVEaa vaccine, AstraZeneca doesn't need a super deep freeze. Health Minister Stephen Wade says that makes it ideal for regional centres.
We are a geographically diverse country. To get this vaccine to every South Australia, we need AstraZeneca.
While Italy has blocked 250,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine bound for Australia. More from Nine's Karianne Greenbank in London.
The Italian government has just blocked the export of a shipment of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccines to Australia. It's understood the European Commission has backed the move, which affects 250,000 doses of the vaccine. At this stage, there's been no official comment from Italy, the EU or AstraZeneca.
There's been a stabbing at Wingfield. Police were called to Graham Street last night after reports of a violent altercation. When they arrived, they found a man with stab wounds to the back. He was rushed to hospital with serious injuries. A 36-year-old man was arrested at the scene. Investigations are continuing, but it's believed the two men know each other. Former Liberal staffer Brittany Higgins is taking legal action against the Defence Minister after she called her a lying cow. Ms Higgins alleges she was raped in Parliament 2 years ago but wasn't adequately supported by Linda Reynolds. Senator Reynolds argues the comments were in response to the way the matter was reported when it broke a few weeks ago. New Zealand's North Island has been hit by a 7.1 magnitude earthquake. The tremor off the east coast of the country initially sparked a tsunami warning, but that's since been lifted. There are no reports of serious damage. Police in Washington DC are on high alert due to a threat of more violence in the US Capitol. More from Nine's Michael Genovese.
The House of Representatives won't be sitting today after a warning from the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security, who say a group of militia violent extremists discussed plans to take control of the US Capitol and remove Democratic lawmakers on or about March 4th. More than 300 people have been charged over the deadly siege on January 6th. Authorities say there's no evidence that groups have travelled to the capital ahead of today. More than 5,000 National Guard troops remain in Washington.
Weeks after being admitted to hospital with an infection, Prince Philip has now undergone a procedure for a pre-existing heart condition. Buckingham Palace says the 99-year-old will remain in hospital for a number of days for further treatment and rest. Now turning to FIVEaa Sport.
Fluorio milk comes from local cows and it's bottled right here. Look for the local Fluorio Milk Company.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thanks, Kendall. Dave Warner has notched up 87 on his return from injury to help New South Wales claim victory in the One Day Cup tournament against South Australia. Chasing 206 to win, Warner top scored in the run chase, while youngster Oliver Davies chipped in with an unbeaten 40. Meantime, India will resume at 1 for 24 on day 2 of the fourth and final test against England in Ahmedabad. That's in reply to the tourists' first innings total of 205. To basketball, and the Adelaide 36ers' disappointing run of form has continued after going down at 98 to 89 against Illawarra. Centre Isaac Humphries remains sidelined with a foot injury, but he told Rowie he's hoping to return soon.
You know, they're saying 4 to 6 weeks, but me being me, I'm going to try my best to cut that down as much as I can and work as hard as I can to get it, shorter than that.
St Kilda's Dan Hanbury suffered a hamstring injury in last night's pre-season win against Carlton. James Frawley set to join him on the sidelines. Carlton also has injury issues with Harry Mackay, Jacob Wiedering and Jack Nunes hobbling off during the game. Coach David Teague says they were taking a conservative approach.
We weren't going to take any risks, so Harry's was his ankle again. It was a bit sore. I think he had a little, I don't know if he tweaked it or he felt it was sore. I think Weeders was a corky in the hip or in the buttock, somewhere around that end area, and Jack Nunes was an ankle as well.
And some soccer to finish. Tottenham leads Fulham with about 15 minutes to play in their English Premier League match, while Everton is also 1-0 up against West Brom. And that's the FIVEaa Sport.
Now the FIVEaa forecast.
Make sure you and your car stay cool with aircon and cooling services. Call 1300 Automasters.
Partly cloudy and 26 today, sunny on Saturday 28, cloudy for Sunday 29 and cloudy again on Monday 27. At the moment, 12. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
6:06, good morning to you. Welcome to a Friday on 5AA Breakfast. Friday on the eve of a long weekend for those that get it. It's a good feeling waking up on this day. Coming up on the program this morning, we'll speak with Dr. Mike Cusack about the rollout of the AstraZeneca vaccine here in South Australia. It starts at Murray Bridge. They'll be the first people to get it right around the country. We'll chat about that a little bit later in the morning. Phil Curry in the nation's capital will recap what has been an incredible week in federal politics. We'll also speak with the South Australian of the Year, Isabel Marshall, and also Vanessa Mortimer, the principal of Ingle Farm Primary School, is going to join us. This was this poor school that suffered an attack whereby some of the chickens that they had there were killed, were slaughtered, and then displayed on the school grounds for little kids to turn up to school and find. So we'll discuss the fallout of that after 7 o'clock. Good morning to you, David Penberthy.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. Happy Friday to everyone. I think there'll be quite a few people waking up with a smile on their dial this morning going, you beauty. Just got to get through this work bit, and then I've got the weekend off. Obviously not everyone, particularly our emergency services personnel and quite a few retail people will be working over the
I think most
weekend.
of them, if you're in Ambo, you don't even stop for a toilet break, do you?
No.
Let alone a long weekend.
I don't think you know. I don't think you know which day of the week it is,
No.
let alone whether it's a long weekend or not. We got more on that coming today. When I was a wee lad as a cadet, not long out of my cadetship, trying to think, it would have been 94 maybe. The Brown government had just been elected in the state bank election, and there was a fellow called Wayne Matthew. He was a lovely bloke. He was the first police minister in the Brown Liberal government, and he became embroiled in a pay dispute with the police association that was then headed by Peter Alexander, who is one of the most likeable and affable and engaging blokes I've ever met. He's a terrific guy. He's devoted a lot of his life to his love of the South Adelaide Football Club, but he was the head of the police union. Now, the government thought, we're just not going to cave into the police on this. You know, their demands for wages and conditions. So they decided that they were basically going to go to war industrially with the state's police, who I think initially were asking for like a 6% pay rise. The dispute went on for about 4 months, and in the end, a completely humiliated and battered Wayne Matthew, I think he gave them 10% to make them go away.
That's a good negotiation.
Oh, Alexander played him off a break, and there were cops coming forward there was a guy, I think his name was Christopher Haar, who was a young copper who had his face bitten and needed to have AIDS tests and all of this, and he was like he'd been the face of their campaign, and during the campaign he got bitten by this psycho out on the beat. Every single person in the state was saying, "Can't you just give the cops a pay rise?" And it was a political disaster, and there were all these stickers around town, and you still see them occasionally. Pay justice for our police.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, that was from that campaign. In fact, I put one on my dad's old Commodore because the car needed to be defected. And I said, if you put one of these in the car, you'll be right.
I actually think the Ambos dispute is significantly more simple and straightforward than that, because pay disputes these days always carry with them the spectre that, well, hang on, no one else has had a pay rise in the last 15 years. So why should you? And there's precious little sympathy whenever you have pay disputes at the moment with the public service, rightly or wrongly. That's just the way it is.
Well, it's because everyone else isn't getting pay
exactly
rises.
Right. This one, though, is just about having a break.
Yeah.
Working in a highly intense environment where you're understaffed. You're expected to save lives, drive a vehicle, sometimes at speed, do all these sorts of things that we accept are dangerous either to you or the people that you're meant to be helping. And you're doing so in conditions that you wouldn't allow someone to, serve entrees in.
Yeah, totally.
It's ludicrous.
And the reason I mentioned the Wayne Matthews stuff is because I covered that from start to finish. And it was just hapless the way it was handled by the government. I think the handling of this has actually been worse so far, because you've had what I think was utterly incompetent conduct by the head of the ambulance service, putting out that menacing email that just made him sound like he's a cover-up merchant, doesn't want to get to the bottom of things, and he's quite clearly threatened his staff. And yesterday showed, with 20 minutes of non-stop phone calls to FIVEaa from people who actually work there, it shows how effective that's been as a tactic.
It's the upper echelon of the public servant playbook, that one. The old refer to the code of conduct. You can't speak on behalf of your department or the government, or it's a sacking offence, which is great. But they only sometimes apply it, because they never threaten doctors with it.
Oh, no, you wouldn't do that.
Never. It's funny how doctors can be employed by the public service.
You wouldn't take on the Royal College of Knee Repairers, or...
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever they're called.
That never happens.
Why are they Royal Colleges?
Oh, they're big monarchists. That never happens.
They're like the BLF with stethoscopes, those people. Because it's all about keeping the numbers down.
Yeah. There's a bit of that goes
Managed
on in the
scarcity.
There's a bit of that goes on in the medical world.
There's adding so many Lamborghinis to go around.
12 to 6, 8223000 is the number. It is, of course, Meat Tray Friday. But no better way to start the weekend than with a meat tray, thanks to Nick and the team at Three Little Pigs Gourmet Butcher. Oh, this is a crack. This is right around the corner from where I used to live. They're at 436 Henley Beach Road at Lockleys. Famous.
It's a beautiful little butcher shop.
For their pork, fennel and chilli sausages. They are a terrific butcher.
Just opposite the golf course.
That's right. March 8 is International Women's Day. They're right around the world. So ahead of that, being on the public holiday, we're asking you for the meat tray today. Nominate your... We'll do our own version of the Woman of the Year for FIVEaa breakfast. Who is it?
So it's got to be a woman who's impressed you and has made life a better place in the last 12 months.
Yeah. Well, look. Here's the thing: if it doesn't quite fit in the last 12 months, we're not going to rule you ineligible. But someone who has impressed you that deserves some plaudits, basically. But be they someone, look, and they don't have to be saving lives. I reckon there's one that might get a couple of nominations who's been pretty prominent in terms of the COVID response. But it doesn't have to be so lofty. It could be someone who's done wonderful things in your family, a family member, a helper, someone in entertainment that you've just got derived great joy from. Absolutely anything you like.
Someone who helped you during the lockdown?
Exactly right. No wrong answers here. 82230000 or text us on the Telstra Storm Out Barker text line. You can leave your nominations too on the FIVEaa Facebook or YouTube live streams. Who would you give a nod to?
I got two
as Woman of the Year.
I'm nominating my daughter Soph for doing a brilliant job in Year 12.
Yep, good one.
Being a cracking kid. And only turned 18 2 weeks ago. Did I tell you? I had to give a speech in front of all the family. And
why?
Well, it had a birthday. It was
okay, like a 21st type thing.
Yeah. We had the whole family. So we had my ex-wife, we had her family, we had Kate's mum.
The way you said it, I had to give a speech. I thought, they drag you up there or something.
No, it was hysterical though, because, I mean, you know me, I talk crap for Australia, do it every day for 3 hours. And I stood up, and I thought I'm just going to say something off the cuff, and I looked at Soph, and I just immediately burst into tears. It was pathetic. And Dad came over and he goes, bloody hell, what about that? I said, I didn't see that coming. And he said, that was just the perfect family speech.
Yeah.
It was just nice. It was just this moment where you just feel so proud. You're just like, and you see a whole stretch of life like as if it's in a film. You just go, shit, here she is. She's 18 years old.
Yeah.
Last I knew, I was changing the nappies.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah, that's my schmaltzy start.
Well, that's a nice way to start. So,
thank you, Will.
Woman of the Year.
I won't talk about it too much. I might start weeping
again. I think you're on the way out, actually, as we speak. So we'll take an ad break. 82230000 is the number. Or text us on the Telstra Storm Out Barker text line. Who would you nominate as your Woman of the Year?
The Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery has sold out early once again. Thank you, South Australia, for your incredible support. On March 30th, there will be 15,000 winners, and one of them will be living mortgage-free on the Esplanade at Henley Beach. When you purchase a ticket in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery, you join the fight for cures, better treatments, and improved care. The Hospital Research Foundation. Together, fight. Best of luck to everyone in the draws. Licence M13939.
I'm Kate Cotty, the first woman to sail solo, non-stop and unassisted around the world. And if you're like me, and where you call home changes over time, FIVEaa offers a range of home insurance options to choose from, including house, apartment and village living.
Call FIVEaa on 13 50 50 for a quote today. FIVEaa. Get set, go. FIVEaa is an authorised representative of AAI Limited, the product issuer. Limits, exclusions and conditions apply. Before buying this insurance, read the PDS. Contact us for a copy.
Now, tomorrow is Super Saturday at your local Cheapest Chips. What is in store, Will?
This is known as the Cheapest Chips long weekend, this one.
Oh, it is.
Because what happens on Saturday will require 2 days of recovery.
Oh.
For all the foodies out there, there's retro appliances like donut makers, waffle makers and more, $33.15. You can get all three and have change from $100.
I know.
Or if you have a green thumb or finger, get your lawn looking good with an electric lawnmower for only $229.
And look, if you're an aspiring muso, we heard it the other day, absolutely. This is the Stradivarius of roll-up drum kits. They've got roll-up drum kits, half price, $34.50.
It is. You're right.
And if you're looking to get your fit on and like doing a bit of pole dancing, and who doesn't, there's 2-in-1 dancing poles, only $149.
Is that the Stradivarius of dancing balls?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Check out all the Super Saturday deals tomorrow at your local Cheapest Chips. Look for more specials on the back page of this week's Cheapest Chips catalogue.
I'm just popping out.
Where to?
Nowhere. Just out for a drive. Are you going somewhere?
Me? No. No.
Oh. Well, you look a bit nice, that's all.
No. Just going up to the shops to get some stuff. Oh, all right. I'm going to Jarvis Toyota for another test drive.
Okay, so am I. I'll give you a lift.
Thank you.
You know, I really like Jarvis Toyota.
Jarvis Toyota. Come for a test drive. Take home the feeling. South Road, Clovelly Park.
At Specsavers, we know we could all use a spare pair.
Where are my glasses?
Luckily, you can get 2 designer pairs, no gap, from the $199 single vision range with selected health funds. Only at Specsavers. Conditions apply.
9 News, weeknights at 5, nightly at 6. The switch is on to the news that's live and local. 9 News, made in Adelaide.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
18 minutes after 6, let's get into the news headlines on this Friday morning. The first doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine will be administered in South Australia today. Frontline workers in Murray Bridge will be the first to get the jab, and we'll speak with SA Health after 7 o'clock about that. You might have some questions, as always. We like providing an opportunity for you to put them directly to our healthcare professionals, certainly at a time like this. So if you'd like to call in, 8223 0000 is the number. How about this for a story? I woke up to this news breaking this morning. Australia's set to miss out on 250,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine after Italy banned the export of the vaccine in accordance with European Union guidelines approved earlier this year. The vaccine's manufactured near Rome, so we'd agreed to buy these. And because the rollout has been pathetic in continental Europe, there's such a shortage, they've started to say, well, we're not sending any. If it gets made here, it's getting used here.
I can't believe this, and it's hopefully there's some argument that can be made that it's breach of contract, given that that it originally said yes. But reading this, I know there's a view that the Brexit brigade were small-minded, anti-foreigner, Little Britain types. But reading this story, I was feeling full Nigel Farage by the time I finished it. I was like, what right has Europe got to do that?
Well, there's a real argument in Britain at the moment that they're so far ahead of the game when it comes to vaccines. They're as good as anywhere on earth amongst big countries. I think Gibraltar and places might have currently the greatest proportion. But the Britain's doing so much better than the rest of Europe. They're over 20% of people vaccinated. The rest of Europe's under 4%. And that's because they've been able to do their own thing. They went and secured contracts, they've produced it, they've distributed it, they've done it all. In Europe, the union had to agree on how much are we buying for who and when are they getting it and how are we going to distribute it. And they did all the big bureaucratic stuff that the European Union does to drive people bonkers.
Yeah.
And it's mean they're miles behind everyone despite being a spot where it needs to be distributed quickly.
Yeah.
And now they're in this place where they're so far behind, they're denying orders that have been made legitimately to other countries around the world like us here in Australia.
It's a total disgrace. Total disgrace.
Brittany Higgins is threatening the Defence Minister with defamation if she doesn't publicly apologise for calling her a lying cow. Is that defamation? If you don't... I mean, she didn't broadcast
calling someone a lying cow.
What, just in your office?
That's a good question.
It's not defamation, as I
Well,
understand. I mean,
it is
with my years of
defamatory.
legal experience. She didn't broadcast it though.
Well, it begs the question: is the publisher, in this case, my newspaper, The Australian, the publisher of the defamation? Because they broke the story.
Yeah, defamation doesn't happen like this usually.
For something to be defamatory, it's just got to be said, published, or heard by your peers, which is, i.e., people in your own circle or the broader community, and it has to lower your standing in their eyes.
Yes.
So to that extent, yeah. But I actually think it's probably more like the old definition of libel.
Yeah.
Where you say something bad rather than publish or write something bad.
Is it part of it? And you, of course, you're the one with the law degree, not me.
I've also been sued successfully a couple of times, so take my advice with a grain of salt.
But isn't part of it how many people will have heard it? You know, when they assess...
Well, that's more damages.
Yeah, right. But that's a factor, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's a big factor.
Because if I just went out to Andy and said, how about that David Penberthy bloke?
I heard you guys saying that earlier.
I know, well, that's why I'm a little worried.
Is that why you're asking?
If that gets republished. But if
it also depends what you say. I mean, there's a difference between saying someone's a lying cow and that someone's, a major heroin trafficker, for example.
So if I said to Andrew Huff at the Advertiser, David Penberthy, I've heard he's a major heroin trafficker, and then he wrote that in the Tiser the next day, is it me, not the Tiser, that's liable?
No, the Tiser.
That's right.
Liable.
But that's sort of what's happening here, isn't it? I don't know.
Who knows?
It's convoluted. Anyway,
if you
it's kind of missing the point, I suppose.
If you could bet on some agency about ministers who can't cop it anymore and just say, I'm out of here, I have a very strong, weird feeling that later today, and not because the Prime Minister wants her to go, in fact, I think he wouldn't want her to go because the optics of losing a female minister but keeping Christian Porter this week will be a hard sell politically for some voters. But I don't think Linda Reynolds is going to be able to continue. I think she'll be so devastated by what's happened. And what about her non-denial of the fact that she said it too? Yeah. It's pathetically handled. So she's on medical leave for a heart condition, probably at home under ordered bed rest yesterday, watching her boss, the Prime Minister of Australia, potting her for having said it. How's that woman mentally equipped to come into work now? I reckon there'll be do not be surprised at all, folks, if there's a press statement later today, 5 o'clock. Linda Reynolds will not be returning as Defence Minister for health reasons.
The friend of a woman who accused the Federal Attorney General of rape has joined calls for an independent inquiry into the case. Christian Porter denies all allegations against him. The New South Wales Police have closed their investigation, citing insufficient evidence. Here's the friend, Nick Ryan.
She can't be put in a witness box. She can't be, but there are other witnesses who spoke to her, have spoken to her at length about her claims, none of whom have been spoken to before. And we are more than happy to speak in an independent inquiry into these matters.
That's, in case listeners are wondering, that is Nick Ryan, the well-known Adelaide writer. He does the column for the Sunday Mail. Terrifically funny writer. A really good wine writer too. But he was part of the whole debating crew in the 1980s that this woman moved in, the circles that she moved in, where she met Christian Porter at the debating competition in Sydney in 1988.
Fears are growing in Queensland of a COVID super spreader. 6 passengers who travelled to Brisbane from Doha on a Qatar Airways flight last month tested positive to coronavirus. 3 of them have the Russian variant. I hadn't even heard of the Russian variant.
What's the Russian one?
Oh, that doesn't sound good. I don't know.
That crazy dancing. You fold your arms and kick your legs out. That's one of the first symptoms.
Meghan Markle has suggested the British royal family has been perpetuating falsehoods about her and Prince Harry ahead of a tell-all interview with Oprah Winfrey. The interview will air on Monday at 7:30 on Channel 10, and here's the latest snippet that's been released.
How do you feel about the palace hearing you speak your truth today?
I don't know how they could expect that after all of this time, we would still just be silent if there is an active role that the firm is playing in perpetuating falsehoods about us. And if that comes with risk of losing things, I mean, there's a lot that's been lost already.
The firm?
That's pretty full on, isn't it? I think to say that publicly about the royal family,
it's extraordinary.
Suggests that there are, by way of understatement, what you could call irreconcilable differences.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
I got to say though, I do feel a bit, and I think that it's a point others have made more forcefully and with more florid language. But it's funny that so much effort has been done by the palace to strip Harry of titles, roles, certain roles he can't perform, military roles. Same hasn't happened for Prince Andrew, who is actually potentially like a full-blown child molester.
Yep.
Don't you reckon?
Yeah, it's inconsistent.
Yeah.
I would suggest, given the gravity of the... I mean, the greatest accusation against Harry and Meghan is that they're a bit of a pain in the backside.
Exactly.
It really, isn't it?
Yeah, that they're pampered millennials who are utterly self-absorbed.
Yeah.
Prince Andrew, however...
Yeah. He may be a criminal.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Top of 26 today, 28 on Saturday, 29 Sunday, 27 on Monday. A little bit of a chance of a speck of rain on that Sunday, but otherwise not much about the place. 25 Tuesday, 28 next Wednesday, and 29 Thursday.
Are you tired of looking at those unfinished maintenance jobs? Or perhaps you've got a plumbing emergency? I've got 3 words for you. Professional Trades Group. They'll do it all. They're a group of highly skilled, highly professional tradespeople who know how to show up on time and do the job properly. Plumbing, gas, air, electrical, building and fire protection. One call to Professional Trades Group has got you covered. Available 24/7. professionaltradesgroup.com.au.
G'day, Scotty Cam here. With a long weekend just around the corner, now is a cracking time to get stuck into some work around the house. The good news is, your local Mitre 10 is open for everything you need. Whether it's great prices on the right products or a bit of mighty helpful advice. So why not pop in, grab the gear you need and make the most of this long weekend. That's mighty helpful, Mitre 10. Check your local store for opening times.
Here at FIVEaa, we're all about supporting local. Womadelaide gets underway this Friday with Midnight Oil, Sarah Blasco, Archie Roach, Tash Sultana and more. 4 Sunset concerts in King Rodney Park. Tickets at womadelaide.com.au.
Hi, I'm Peter Berkowitz from Berkowitz Furniture. The Stressless sale is now on. We're inviting you to enjoy a level of comfort like nothing on earth. There's nothing quite like a stressless recliner or sofa. And with huge savings across the range, Berkowitz is the destination for stressless. Experience comfort that's been 100% designed and manufactured in Norway. The Stressless sale at Berkowitz Mile End. We're not just a furniture store, we're a furniture family.
We hear you. You've lived enough to know you want more. More time, more freedom, more living. Introducing Encore Apartments from ECH, a new vertical retirement village at Modbury, opposite Tea Tree Plaza. 77 2-bedroom apartments, all with private balconies, plus on-site cafe, fitness centre and community garden. Book an appointment to see the new display suite at Parkside or visit echencore.com.au.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
29 after 6, the meat tray today, thanks to the great team at Three Little Pigs Gourmet Butcher on Henley Beach Road at Lockleys. We're asking you to nominate your Woman of the Year. Getting a few texts through at the moment. It is International Women's Day on Monday. If you'd like to win the meat tray, give us a call. It could be anyone from the world of entertainment, politics, health, your own family. It doesn't have to be grand. Just be a gesture you'd like to acknowledge. 8223 0000. David Penberthy's going to mention in this context, and we'll get to that in a moment. But first, Tom Wren is in the 5AA Breakfast studio with us, thanks to FIVEaa milk. Comes from local cows. It's bottled right here. Look for the local FIVEaa Milk Company. Morning, Rennie.
Morning to you, Will. David, yeah, I better go with the wife and also mum. That's a pretty safe duo,
Well played.
I think. You know, and they do.
You'll live to fight another day.
Yeah,
Good.
exactly right. But boys, it looks like it's getting closer and closer, doesn't it, that the Crows are going to find a new home. John Olsen, great interview last night by Rowie on the sports show. He was just basically running through where they may or may not end up, yes, no, or maybe. Let's have a listen to some of that.
North Adelaide Aquatic Centre, yes, no, or a chance?
No.
That's 100% off. Okay. Adelaide
No.
City Council Nursery?
No.
Adelaide Showgrounds?
Highly unlikely.
Okay, so that's a chance. Vic Park?
No.
Okay. FIVEaa Terrace horse paddock that backs onto Robe Terrace.
No.
An absolute no. Okay. FIVEaa Oval.
Most probably.
Oh, most probably.
And he went on to elaborate, saying how great a base it is and that amateur footy, the sample, has been the hub there for a long time. So it looks like more and more, and Rowe's been saying it for several weeks, that it's probably going to be there that the Crows end up heading.
My question is, given that they're not going to do it at the aquatic centre because of the old poncho-wearing brigade out there, walked away from that. So now it's clearly not going to be in any part of the parklands, which is certainly in the context of other parts of the parklands, fine, because we don't want new buildings in the parklands. We're talking in the aquatic centre case about replacing an existing one. So if it's going to be somewhere else that isn't the parklands, does that mean it's going to have like a whiz-bang sort of hospitality component for the fans? Like, is it going to feel like the shed on steroids? Because there's a chance to do that now.
There's no reason why you wouldn't then, is there?
Yeah. Yeah, like
Beverton's pretty accessible from Adelaide Oval. It's not particularly difficult to get there.
No, well, you've got the back road that takes you through down past the dump, past the West Everton Hotel. There's no housing there. Like you could easily make that a little thoroughfare.
Probably, a 10-minute drive from Adelaide Oval? Maybe.
Yeah. With the
thought.
traffic you get on match day. I mean, I don't know how
a
you
bit
do
longer
it,
then.
But whether they'd have like shuttle buses or something like that would get people back and forth. But be good if they made it feel a bit special. Like if it was
definitely
actually a club.
I mean, that's what people are crying out for, isn't it?
Well,
a sense of home.
You've been to Alberton, like it's nice in there.
It's great.
You know, you get a meal, sit around with your friends.
Just feels like a club, doesn't
This
it?
can't be this can't be the next Crows base. This has to be the Crows' home. We can't be having this conversation again in 15 years. It's time to drop anchor.
Yeah, bed down.
Yeah.
Now, well said.
Good on you, Rennie.
Thanks, boys.
Thanks, Tom.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy and 26 today with the 6:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Woken with a stiff neck or sore back? Get a Physio Extra appointment today. 6 locations, physioextra.com.
A South Australian regional town will lead the nation in administering the AstraZeneca vaccine. Michaela Kamarik has details.
1,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine have rolled in to Murray Bridge Hospital east of Adelaide. The town's frontline health workers are first in line, followed by aged care residents and police. The rollout will start slowly with around 40 jabs delivered today, increasing to 90 a day. AstraZeneca is the second COVID vaccine to be given the green light in Australia. Unlike the FIVEaa vaccine, the AstraZeneca doesn't need to be kept in special freezers, meaning it's easy to transport to regional centres.
While fears are growing in Queensland of a COVID super spreader, 6 passengers who travelled to Brisbane from Doha on a Qatar Airways flight last month have tested positive while in hotel quarantine. 3 have the Russian variant. The state's chief health officer, Dr. Jeanette Young, says it's concerning.
It is not the variant, it's the one individual. So, you know, through this pandemic we have had instances of super spreaders. I'm concerned that this individual is a super spreader. I'm not concerned about it being the Russian variant.
There are fears up to 250,000 people could lose their jobs once JobKeeper wraps up at the end of the month. Uni of Melbourne Professor Jeff Borland estimates 125 to 250,000 jobs could go. But he says the job losses could be offset by employment growth in other areas. A man has been charged over a stabbing at Wingfield last night. It followed a violent altercation on Graham Street. One man was stabbed in the back and taken to hospital. He's in a stable condition. A 36-year-old man who was known to the victim was arrested at the scene. He's been charged with attempted murder and will face court today. Buckingham Palace has given an update on Prince Philip, revealing he's undergone an operation in a London hospital. More from Nine's Ben Avery.
The Palace says the Duke of Edinburgh underwent a procedure for a pre-existing heart condition yesterday, describing the operation as successful. It says His Royal Highness will now remain at St Bartholomew's Hospital for treatment, rest and recuperation for a number of days. The 99-year-old has now spent 16 nights in hospital after he started feeling unwell. The Palace initially said his admission was a precautionary measure and he'd be released within a few days.
A Melbourne academic arrested in Tanzania in December has been freed. 28-year-old Zara Kay was accused of insulting the Tanzanian president and failing to hand over her passport. She arrived back yesterday and says she's been put through hell. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Fluorio milk comes from local cows and it's bottled right here. Look for the local Fluorio Milk Company.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Port Adelaide looked set to bring back Tom Jonas and Robbie Gray for this Sunday's pre-season match against the Crows at Noarlunga. Teammate Ryan Burton says it will be great to have them both back.
I think they're ready to go. I've seen them training all week, so let's hope that they both play because they're extremely important to us, and we want to have them playing ready for round one.
And there was one pre-season match last night with St Kilda 26-point winners against Carlton. To cricket, Australia can level the T20 series with New Zealand with victory in tonight's Game 4 in Wellington. The tourist batsman finally found form in Game 3 with half-centuries to Aaron Finch and Glenn Maxwell. And the skipper Finch says he needed to stand up for his team.
It's never easy when you're trying to lead the side and you're not performing as well as you would like personally. So just having the confidence, I think, to keep back in my instinct and keep back in my game was the most important thing.
And last night, the Redbacks lost a second straight one-dayer, going down to New South Wales by 6 wickets. The Adelaide 36ers have gone down to Illawarra by 9 points in the NBL, and in the English Premier League, wins for Tottenham and Everton. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Make sure you and your car stay cool with aircon and cooling services. Call 1300 Automasters.
Partly cloudy and 26 today, sunny on Saturday 28, cloudy for Sunday 29 and cloudy again for Monday 27. At the moment 12. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
23 minutes to 7, coming up after 7 o'clock this morning. Vanessa Mortimer, the principal of Engle Farm Primary School, about the fallout from that act of cruelty and vandalism at the school where the school chickens were killed and put on display for the kids to find the next day. That's happened in the last 48 hours. What comes next is particularly important. Vanessa Mortimer will take us through that. Dr. Mike Cusack is also coming up a little bit later today. The first people in Australia to get the AstraZeneca vaccine will be in Murray Bridge, South Australia. It's going to happen today. We'll speak with Dr. Cusack about that, and you can put questions to him as you choose. Phil Curry from the Fin Review wrapping a big week in politics. We've still got Bruce Springsteen tickets to give away. That's exciting. The Music Man.
Music Man's about to retire. This is the last day of the Music Man.
Well, this time, when we get more tickets, he will return, the Music Man. We've been very warmly received by our listeners, if not the man himself. 22 to 7. Speaking of which, David, I like this. The second nomination for your family for the Woman of the Year. Peter in Moonta Bay says Kate Ellis going above and beyond putting up the certain bloke. I assume he means you.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know who the other one is.
Well,
no, of all Kate's many excellent qualities, bad taste in men is right up there.
0488 08 1395. That's the Telstra Storm Out Barker text line. Let us know who you think the Woman of the Year should be. We're doing our own version of the Australian of the Year, but we're doing it ahead of International Women's Day on Monday. Getting a couple of nice other ones through as well.
Yeah, one here, my niece Amy. This person hasn't left their name, sadly, but they nominate their niece Amy. She's almost 27, and her mum passed away suddenly 3 years ago. And then her dad, my brother, 14 months ago. God, that's terrible. So close to each other. Even though she's had her own issues, the maturity and strength that she shows towards her brother, family and friends is just amazing. She's a very special woman. One here from Sharon, nominating Isabel Marshall and Eloise Hall, who are the founders of Taboo. The South Australians of the Year are well-deserved winners. At their young age in Year 12, they've made a difference as school captains. They're changing the world for the better. Well done in a year that many find challenging. You are working to improve the taboo subject, i.e. periods, for women. The video that was shown ahead of your Australia Day nomination was simply the best. Well, that's who we're going to be talking to later on.
Exactly right. Some good news. Isabel Marshall will be on the show after 8:30 today and is in part the inspiration for the Meat Tray Friday question today. Thanks to Nick and the team at Three Little Pigs Gourmet Butcher. 8223 0000 is the number. Nominate your Woman of the Year. Now, it doesn't have to be... We're using the of the year part of this sort of out of respect to the Australian of the Year concept, but we're not going to hold you to a 12-month period. We just want to recognise women that have done wonderful things in your life, be they family members or people you've seen publicly, whoever it might well be. We want to do it for the Meat Tray today.
If it was a public figure, I'd go for Nicola Spurrier.
I think a lot of people, I think everyone would, and that's why almost no one said it so far, because it's the obvious low-hanging fruit.
Even though she didn't win South Australian of the Year.
Yeah, she didn't.
But even though there's been things, particularly sort of the back end of the pandemic, where I think there was more debate around some of the tactics we were using, but overall, you'd have to say that South Australia's performance has been superb.
Oh, it's been exceptional.
Like, where else would you rather be in the world?
Well, actually, I think people may have said New Zealand up until recently, but it's suddenly gone a little pear-shaped there. I think you could reasonably say nowhere. There's nowhere on earth you'd rather be.
There's nowhere else in Australia I'd rather be either.
No.
Certainly not Victoria.
No.
And Sydney's still... I mean, it's a bit of a myth around Berejiklian, and I know that she's hailed as a hero for keeping the state open the whole time. But she's kept the state open the whole time with stricter restrictions than we have.
That's right.
Like, they've still got the 4 square metre rule there, whereas we're 2, or we were 2.
We're going to have 40,000 people sitting in pods of 120 at the Adelaide
Yeah,
Oval.
look, I'd love to hear, how do you feel about that, Adelaide? Having to wear masks on arrival and on exiting the Oval. That's the rule.
Yeah. We could talk about this a little bit later. I've done this at Adelaide United at Highmarsh Stadium. That's been the rule this whole season. It's not particularly onerous. They do a good job of handing out masks beforehand. The weirdness is, and I think it was Dave Lloyd, our Aberdeen correspondent, pointed this out on Twitter, so you can get on the Footy Express where you're jam-packed to the gills on a bus, and then you get there and you've got to put your mask on.
Oh, it makes zero sense.
Yeah. Tom in Basket Range has called in with a Meat Tray Friday entry. Morning to you, Tom.
Morning. How you going, boys?
Good, thanks, Tom.
Yeah, I'd just like to nominate my wife,
Good on
Nikki.
you.
And, yeah, man, she homeschooled our kids from day dot on the COVID lockdown.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, man. And I got home after day one and there was pictures all pinned up on the wall, classroom laid out, pens, pencils, wrapped, all
Oh, wow.
magnificent. Then she lost her job, got a new job straight away. Lost that job, got a new job straight away. And then she saw me through deep brain stimulation surgery and was the only one that could visit due to COVID and got me through everything. So I'd just like to hand it to her.
Oh, mate.
Oh, and she loves a meat tray because she's a vegetarian. But I love it.
All for you, Tom.
Good.
That's a great nomination,
Yeah,
mate.
that's lovely. Good on you,
She sounds
Tom.
like a special woman.
Thank you for that. Did what every good relationship does. Followed up a whole bunch of praise with a bit of ribbing.
Scott Morrison, I reckon, is probably kind of relieved that International Women's Day is landing on the public holiday this year. Is he, after the week that they've had, like, what sort of a reception would he get rocking up at an International Women's Day breakfast at the moment?
Yeah, he can't. It's one of those ones where he can't win, though. I've seen, the ghouls on Twitter sort of saying, how could this man show his face at International Women's Day? But if he didn't show up, they'd say, hey, couldn't he have the courtesy to turn up?
Because he's had his Attorney General in the midst of it.
Yeah.
He's got his Defence Minister calling an alleged rape victim a lying cow. He's had the Australian of the Year upbraiding him for talking in his hokey fashion about, what his wife and daughter think about, people being sexually assaulted. And suddenly the pennies dropped. Less than ideal.
Mark and Felixstowe's called in. Morning to you, Mark.
G'day, guys. How about Mrs. Condis, the lady who raised $20 million and is really a very unsung hero?
I totally agree with you, Mark. Angela Condis is a life force. She's done so much for this city, for needy people in this city.
She doesn't ask for anything, you know what I mean? She gives it all.
I can tell you, because I see her from time to time, she's up on the management level in the advertiser building with all of the head honchos who run the paper, great blokes like Ish Davies, who's been the MD there for years, and Mel Mansell, the former editor of the Tiser. Every time I go up there to see Ish or Mel, Angela is at her desk working.
Yeah.
I've never not seen her in her office.
It's a great nomination, Mark. Appreciate it. 8223 000. A couple of really strong ones there for the meat tray, thanks to Three Little Pigs Gourmet Butcher on Henley Beach Road at Lockleys. Let's check traffic, thanks to Dave Potter Honda. Their Mad March demo clearance is on now with huge savings and factory bonuses across the range.
Just the one smash on the books this morning. Victoria Road, Birkenhead near the bridge. Roadworks on the freeway down track causing delays at Crayfors now. Goodwood Road near Dawes Road and Tapless Hill Road between Grange Road and Henley Beach Road southbound has a hazard there with speed reduced. It's the final week of Amart Furniture's mid-season sale with savings on a huge range like up to 40% off bedroom showroom furniture and up to 50% off mattresses. Rush into Amart today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Adelaide's newest Skoda showroom launches with its newest release. Visit the all-new Jarvis Skoda West Terrace in the city for the Skoda Kamiq, a city-sized SUV that's compact on the outside and curiously roomy on the inside. Kamiq features wireless phone charging, lane and blind spot assist and more, earning it the title of News Corp Car of the Year and a suitably compact price from $29,990. Visit Adelaide's newest Skoda showroom, Jarvis Skoda, 193 West Terrace in the city. MVD 285011.
Dr. Greg Keane explains how SportsMed puts patients first every day.
SportsMed is different. We have a clinic and hospital with specialists, doctors, physios and podiatrists all together in one location. There's also pathology, radiology, pharmacy and a cafe. This makes life easier for our patients because their appointments can all happen right here. It also lets us diagnose issues quickly, leading to high quality, cost-effective care.
And their patients love it. SportsMed.
Start living life again with our expert help.
Sportsmed.com.au.
Everyone's built differently, so why shouldn't our beds be? At RB Day & Sons Supercraft Bedding, we supply a wide range of electrically adjustable beds and manufacture tailor-made mattresses. As an accredited NDIS provider, we regularly work with the healthcare, disability and aged care sectors to provide sleeping solutions to meet every Aussie's needs. Call or email today for a chat or to book a one-on-one appointment with us at supercraft.com.au. RB Day & Sons Supercraft Bedding. Building better beds.
Save up to 55% off Sealy Posturepedic exquisite discontinued floor stock mattresses and ensembles now at Harvey Norman. Now's the time to upgrade your mattress and support Australian-made manufacturing. Plus, purchase for 60 months interest-free and receive a bonus gift card up to the value of $500. Minimum finance amount $1,000. Approved applicants only. 60 equal monthly payments. Interest applies if you do not comply with terms and conditions. Fees and exclusions apply. Save up to 55% off Sealy Posturepedic exquisite discontinued floor stock mattresses and ensembles now at Harvey Norman.
Go!
9 News, weeknights at 5, nightly at 6. The switch is on to the news that's live and local. 9 News, made in Adelaide.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
12 minutes to 7. Let's check in with SAPOL. Senior Constable Kate Dawson's on the line. What is here, Kate?
Good morning, guys.
Now, there was a stabbing at Wingfield last night. What happened?
Yeah, this occurred about 8:30 p.m. last night. Emergency services were called to Graham Street in Wingfield after reports of a violent altercation. So when officers arrived, they located a man at the scene with several stab wounds to his back. He was rushed to the Royal Adelaide Hospital by paramedics, where he remains in a stable condition. So a 36-year-old man who is known to the victim was arrested by police at the scene, and he's been charged with attempt murder. He's been refused bail and will appear in the Port Adelaide Magistrates Court today. So investigations into this incident are continuing. We're just asking anybody with some further information who hasn't yet spoken to police to please contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
Also, Kate, there's been a terrible incident involving a boat at Outer Harbour.
Yeah, this occurred just after 6:15 p.m. last night. The alarm was raised after a boat got into some trouble out there. I think it had engine trouble and capsized in rough waters near the southern Outer Harbour breakwater, with both occupants on board falling into the water. So the police helicopter Polair made its way to the area and spotted the two men in the water after the boat had flipped over. One man was able to make it back to the breakwater and he was winched to safety by the helicopter, but sadly the second man was found unresponsive in the water. His body was recovered by our police water operations unit a short time later. So the injured man, a 66-year-old from Smithfield Plains, was taken to the Royal Adelaide Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. But yeah, sadly, a 77-year-old man from Windsor Gardens died at the scene. So yeah, Western District Police are going to be looking into that one and preparing a report for the coroner. But yeah, tragic incident at Outer Harbour.
Yeah, sad news.
Thank you, Kate. Senior Constable Kate Dawson from SAPOL. Let's talk long weekend weather with Mark Anilak at the Weather Bureau. Morning, Mark.
Good morning.
Just take us through it, Mark, and just feel free to dwell on the more pleasant details of the long weekend. It all looks good.
We'll start with today. It should be mostly sunny, heading for a top of 26. Currently just 12 degrees, but like I said, a mostly sunny day and 26 degrees forecast for today. Tomorrow, warming up to 28 and mostly sunny. On Sunday, we're looking for a top of 29 degrees, but there'll be some high-level cloud come through, and there might be the odd spot or two of rainfall from that middle-level cloud, but not expecting much at all, and it shouldn't dampen your spirits for Sunday. Monday, partly cloudy at top of 27 degrees. So for the long weekend, 99% of the time I think it'll be fine and nice and warm.
Beautiful. That's what we like to hear. Good on you, Mark.
You bring good news, Mark. Thank you.
Yeah.
Duty forecaster at the Weather Bureau, Mark Anelak. It's 9 to 7, 8223 0000 is our number. Call us with your nomination for FIVEaa Breakfast Zone Woman of the Year. It's International Women's Day on Monday, but ahead of that, we wanted to sort of do our own version of the Australian of the Year Awards. Could be absolutely anyone you like who has done you a big kindness or a small one, someone who just does a wonderful job that you'd like to give a shout out to. Maybe it's someone you've never even met, but you just think they deserve a moment of adulation on Breakfast Radio. 8223 0000. Give us a call. You can win yourself a meat tray thanks to the team at Three Little Pigs Gourmet Butcher at Lockley's.
For over 36 years, Steinborner Certified Cars has always exceeded expectations on value, service and selection, and that continues. That's why it's always well worth a trip to Steinborner Certified Cars in Gawler, Nuriotpa and Clare for great deals on new and demo Hyundai, Ford and Mitsubishis, plus SA's biggest and best range of used cars. Make the trip to one of Steinborner's 8 dealerships or view the whole range of cars now at steinborner.com.au and join the thousands who know. Steinborner Certified Cars. It's well worth the trip.
South Australians have done a great job in helping stop the spread of COVID-19. Now, with the arrival of effective vaccines proven safe around the world, we all need to roll up our sleeves. To protect our loved ones, keep our businesses open, keep celebrating with family and friends, and to travel again. Roll up when it's your turn to get vaccinated. For more information, visit covidvaccine.sa.gov.au.
A message from the Government of South Australia.
At Coles, enjoy great value with new Coles Plus online subscription offer. Get double Flybuys points, free 90-minute click and collect and much more. All for just $19 a month. Sign up today and get the first month free. Coles. Value the Australian way.
It's a great time of the year to be out and about in the garden, but the place to be in first is Vidoulis Garden Centre. Right now you'll find a huge range of pots in all shapes and styles, fresh from the Orient. Outdoor pots for any garden, plus thousands of indoor styles to suit your home. Vidoulis has a huge range, but the prices are staying small. Pick up or delivery available. Vidoulis Garden Centre, Main North Road, Gawler, opposite the racecourse.
Vidoulis Garden Centre.
It's closer than you think.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to FIVEaa Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Coming up to 6 minutes to 7, 8223 0000. Our number you can text us to on the Telstra Storm Mount Barker text line. Good friend of the program. And aged care advocate Stuart Johnston's commented on the FIVEaa Facebook live stream this morning. He says, not expecting to be in the running for Meat Tray Friday, but just wanted to put forward my mum posthumously. Her story and experiences inspired thousands to come forward over the last few years to tell their own stories of aged care abuse. And that horrific experience she suffered was one of the catalysts for the Aged Care Royal Commission and its final report this week. Even at 47 years old, I still have no problem standing tall and declaring my eternal love for my mum. Good on you, Stuart.
Yeah, great work,
It's a lovely nomination.
Quite a few people nominating their mums. One here from Morris Sorensen. I would like to nominate my mum for International Women's Day. She's a quiet achiever. She's always been there for us. And at 101 now,
wow,
101, is still independent in her own family home. She loves it that way. That's the way we want to keep her happy. I could never thank her enough. And I know there'll be plenty of women who deserve plenty of deserving accolades, but I nominate my mum, Annie Sorensen. Good on you, Morris. 101, that's good. And still living at home. Amazing.
I'm just trying to do the math in my head. So 101 would probably be one of, what, a handful of people who have now lived through both giant global pandemics.
Yeah.
I mean, not the kind of thing you want to necessarily lay claim to, but the Spanish flu...
Mrs. Sorensen would probably remember the Spanish flu outbreak as a teenager. Wasn't it 1914?
No, if she's 101, she wouldn't.
Oh, sorry. That's my maths not working out there. I had in my head she was born in 1901, but that'll make her 120.
There were different, funny this, because we're all very familiar with this language now, but there were different waves. So it's different. It's interesting how they determine how long it lasted, but generally it was a post-war thing. So 1918 to 1920-ish.
Yeah.
Around that, but it was localised and there were different stories in different places.
It's amazing how many words we all know now, isn't it?
Yes.
Like efficacy.
Efficacy.
Been a lot of talk about efficacy. I don't know why you can't just say effective. Why is efficacy a better word than effective?
Yeah.
What's the difference in meaning?
I don't think there is one.
So this is like, when you go to the doctor after you've been kicked playing footy or something, it's like, I think you've got a subdural hematoma.
Yeah, contusion.
A bruise.
Yeah, that's right.
Like there's a bit of medico speak behind it.
I
isn't
actually
there?
think, I
Efficacy.
wonder, we should ask Dr. Cusack about this after 7 o'clock, because efficacy is actually a big question when it comes to the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is the one that we've bought lots of in Australia.
Well,
that we're going to be
until the Italians decided to
yeah,
sit
well,
on it all.
We got 250,000 less than we thought, but it's also the one we've got licensed to make at CSL in Australia, so we're going to start making it. But it happens to be the one that has the lowest efficacy, to use that everyone's favourite word. So people have got some questions about that. I wonder if in part efficacy it comes out of a desire to make it sound less like it just doesn't work 30% of the time.
I'm just reading here. Efficacy is the ability to perform a task to a satisfactory or expected degree. The word comes from the same roots as effectiveness, and it has often been used synonymously, although in pharmacology, a distinction is now often made between efficacy and effectiveness.
And that distinction is?
Now it gets really complicated. Oh, do you want to read this to you?
Yep.
The distinction between pragmatic and explanatory trials is not the same as the distinction between randomised and non-randomised trials. Any trial can be either randomised or non-randomised. I mean, I've been saying that for years. Or it can have any...
I actually think I've read this before. Actually, I think what it's saying is the number attributed to it is when they use efficacy in this context. It's in a lab. It had they gave it a grade of 70% basically, but they can't then say that's what it'll be the equivalent out in the public with all the different variables and people with all their conditions and out in the real world it might be very different. So they use the term efficacy to say in a lab in those conditions this is the score.
Yeah, right. Elkie has a more simple question, and I reckon a lot of people would have this one. Does anybody actually understand how to get a vaccination? The booking process seems to be very convoluted and opaque. Particularly the use of online excludes a huge proportion of elderly people living alone and who have no family in this state. When can we just go to our own doctor and get it like the flu vaccine? I reckon heaps of people have got that question. The other thing is I've heard that there's some GP clinics that are just saying, well, we're not going to have the resources to be able to deliver the vaccine. So they're sort of saying, look, we'll sit this one out, thanks. Because apparently after you've taken it, you've got to stay there for half an hour.
Yes.
So, particularly given that the social distancing rules are still in place, like I'm thinking about like the GP that I go to occasionally, they couldn't fit more than 10, maybe not even 10, maybe like 6 or 8 people in the waiting room because it's always got people in it.
And have you ever been to your GP and there's no one there? Have you gone, they've had a slow day? There's no one lining up ready to come in? No, that's right. So how does it get fit in amongst the normal day? People aren't going to stop getting sick.
Here's a question though: how is it you can have the first booking of the day at the GP at like 9 a.m. and you still get there and you've got to wait 20 minutes?
No, I reckon that's in first year they teach them that. I think it's part and parcel of the whole experience.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. They really they're sort of maybe they only start working when they clock on. All right, 9 o'clock and log in.
That's right.
Okay.
But it's the one constant of going to the GP.
Yeah, they love to keep you waiting, keep you in suspense. I mean, it's only your health. 8223 is the number.
Hey, GPs are good. We're not bagging GPs.
No, not at all. Just the wait times. You can text us still on the Telstra Stormont Barker text line 0448 081395 is the number. We're going to be speaking with Dr. Mike Cusack from SA Health after 7 o'clock, and also the principal of Ingle Farm Primary School who suffered that horrific and graphic attack over the last couple of days, where the school's chickens were brutalised and then put on display.
Online, on DAB digital radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's FIVEaa.
Partly cloudy and 26 today with the 7 o'clock news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
FIVEaa Extra is a registered NDIS provider, so let them support you in achieving your goals. FIVEaOextra.com.
A man has drowned off Outer Harbour after a boat capsized and sank last night. The alarm was raised just after 6:15 when the 15-foot fiberglass boat suffered engine trouble and capsized near the southern Outer Harbour breakwater. 2 men fell into the water. One was winched to safety on board the Polair helicopter, but the body of a 77-year-old man from Windsor Gardens was found in the water. A man's in hospital after being stabbed in the back at Wingfield last night. Senior Constable Kate Dawson says it followed a violent altercation between 2 men on Graham Street.
36-year-old man who is known to the victim was arrested by police at the scene and he's been charged with attempt murder. He's been refused bail and will appear in the Port Adelaide Magistrates Court today.
A man has died in hospital after a crash at Seaton this week. The 65-year-old was hit by a truck on Tapley's Hill Road on Wednesday afternoon. He suffered critical injuries and died yesterday. The truckie, a 67-year-old man from Crafers, wasn't injured. The man's death is the 18th life lost on our roads this year, compared to 16 at the same time a year ago. The first doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine will be administered in SA today. Frontline workers in Murray Bridge will be first to get the jab. Director of Nursing Sharon Harrison says it's an important day for regional SA.
I think it's a mixture of excitement and relief that it's finally here, that we're prepared, we've got our staff trained, we're ready to go.
While Australia is set to miss out on 250,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine after Italy banned the export of vaccines in accordance with EU guidelines. More from the BBC's Mark Lowen.
This is a move by Italy's new Prime Minister, Mario Draghi, that is making the most of a new EU-wide programme which was announced at the end of January, in which vaccine manufacturers must request permission from the country in which the vaccine is produced before exporting those jabs. And it comes, of course, amidst this global race for vaccines and amidst the anger at vaccine manufacturers for failing to produce and failing to deliver the number of vaccines that they had agreed with EU countries.
Brittany Higgins is threatening the Defence Minister with defamation if she doesn't publicly apologise for calling her a lying cow. Linda Reynolds insists the statement wasn't about her claim about being raped, but rather about commentary on how her office handled it. A lawyer for Miss Higgins is demanding an immediate public withdrawal and apology. There's been a powerful earthquake off New Zealand. The 7.1 magnitude tremor struck off the North Island. There are no reports of serious damage. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Flurio milk comes from local cows and it's bottled right here. Look for the local Flurio Milk Company.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Adelaide looks increasingly likely to head to Thebarton Oval to set up its new home base. Chairman John Olsen telling Rowie it ticks a lot of boxes.
Thebarton Oval's been the home of footy for as long as I can remember. Mm-hmm. And so it's got a natural footy component to it with the amateurs there, the SANFL there and the leaseholder.
The pre-season competition officially got underway last night with St Kilda 26-point winners against Carlton, but both clubs have injury concerns. Saints recruit James Frawley set to join Dan Hanbury on the sidelines for their round 1 clash against GWS. That's after straining a hamstring. The Blues also have injury concerns with Harry Mackay, Jacob Wiedering and Jack Nunes hobbling off during the game. To cricket, and South Australia is winless from its opening 2 one-dayers after going down by 6 wickets against New South Wales at Adelaide Oval last night. Dave Warner returned from injury in impressive fashion, top scoring for the Blues with 87, while Alex Carey led the way for the home side, making 99. The NRL has launched the 2021 season, promising a return to normality for players and fans. The 16 club captains gathered on Sydney Harbour, a week out from the Storm and Rabbitohs clash in Melbourne that'll kick off the action. The Adelaide 36ers' lean run of form has continued, losing a 5th game in 6 starts after going down to Illawarra by 9 points. And Everton has jumped back into the top 4 on the English Premier League table following a 1-0 win against West Brom, while Tottenham also won 1-0 against Fulham. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Dave Potter, Australia's #1 Honda dealer, second year running. DavePotterHonda.com.au.
Reports of a smash over in Birkenhead involving two cars, Victoria Road near the bridge, chain of ponds. Lights are playing up on the corner of North East Road and South Power Road. Roadworks on the down track of the freeway causing problems near Crafers, and Canberra's Hectorville Road in Hectorville today. Mobile Madness is on now at JB Hi-Fi with crazy deals on the hottest phones, like a ridiculous 30% off Samsung Galaxy S20 phones and stacks more, only at JB. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Make sure you and your car stay cool with aircon and cooling services. Call 1300 Automasters.
Partly cloudy and 26 today, sunny tomorrow 28, cloudy on Sunday 29 and cloudy again for Monday 27. At the moment 12. More news as it happens on 5AA.
In the last hour on Adelaide's 5AA.
The first doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine will be administered in South Australia today. Frontline workers in Murray Bridge will be the first to get the jab. You might have some questions, as always. We like providing an opportunity for you to put them directly to a healthcare professional, certainly at a time like this. So if you'd like to call in. Brittany Higgins is threatening the Defence Minister with defamation if she doesn't publicly apologise for calling her a lying cow.
And what about her non-denial of the fact that she said it too? I have a very strong, weird feeling that later today, but I don't think Linda Reynolds is going to be able to continue. And not because the Prime Minister wants her to go. In fact, I think he wouldn't want her to go because the optics of losing a female minister but keeping Christian Porter this week will be a hard sell politically.
Nominate your Woman of the Year, be they family members or people you've seen publicly, whoever it might well be. We want to do it for the meat tray today.
If it was a public figure, I'd go for Nicola Spurrier.
I think everyone would, and that's why almost no one said it so far, because it's the obvious low-hanging fruit.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
7 after 7. I'll let our listeners reset the topics because we've got texts on them all this morning on the Telstra Stormouth Barker text line. Matt in Pennington says, "Morning, guys. Currently sitting in my truck in a major DC of one of the big three, wearing a mask with no one around me. They touch my keys and paperwork but make me wear a mask. Only truck drivers have to wear them, not the workers inside. Where's the logic in this?" We'll talk about Adelaide Oval a little bit later this half hour. That's what's brought up that sort of thought. Then we've got some terrific nominations for our 5AA Breakfast Woman of the Year ahead of International Women's Day on Monday. Tessa and Paraka says, "Let's celebrate our famous and fabulous female Pollies, Frances Bedford, Penny Wong, Natasha Stott Despoja, all maintaining a lineage established at the turn of the century by Bowden-born Muriel Matters, who went to England to fight for women's suffrage and who famously hired an airship to fly over London and drop pamphlets over Parliament." Good on you, Tessa. Andrew says, "We were wondering why you referred to the Spanish flu as being localised. Very much a worldwide epidemic." I think Andrew just came in on the end of that conversation. Talking about the end dates, we're trying to calculate whether our listener, one of our listeners who's 101, would have been alive for both of the major pandemics. And what you get in the history books are localised end dates. Yeah. So in Australia, most of the literature says it ended in 1919, whereas you go to a lot of places in Europe and it was late 1920. So we're just trying to work out. Okay. We're just trying to work out whether our listener would have been alive for both. Which
so we did a better job with the Spanish flu as we have done with COVID too, back then, than Europe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. Much smaller population we had back then.
Wonder who the Nicola Spurrier was in 1919.
Yeah, would have had much less medical science at our disposal, that's for sure. All right, let's talk about this really disturbing local story. The principal of the Inglevale Primary School is Vanessa Mortimer, who joins us on the line. Principal, good morning to you. Just take us through what confronted you when you and school students arrived at your school just in the last couple of days.
Good morning. It's been a really difficult week for the students at Ingle Farm Primary School. We had some vandalism at our school, and unfortunately the vandalism included the chickens being killed. Fortunately one survived, but the chickens were left for children to find on the school tennis courts before school, which was very disturbing and disappointing. Trying to focus on all the good news stories now, because we've had enormous support from the community and a lot of kindness that's been shared with our students and staff, which has really helped.
I've got to say, as the parent of a child who's just started primary school, Vanessa, I just can't believe that someone would do something that's not only that cruel, but with the added horror of leaving it there for young kids to see. And I guess my parents have got chooks, and our kids, our young kids who are 3 and 5, the first thing they do when they go to grandma and grandpa's place is they run out the back. Yeah. And they really bond with them. So
They do. They're actually really caring creatures, and they've got a really lovely nature with children, and it is an opportunity for children, as you say, to pop down and visit them. It's been such a big part of our beginning of the year, and particularly for our new receptions. You're absolutely right.
So let's, as you said, focus on the positive. It sounds like the community's really rallied around the Ingle Farm Primary School community. You've had, Gummaraka Fodder Store has
That's
offered
right.
to donate chooks to the
Yes,
school?
that's right. Yes, and a number of community members have offered to help fund repairs for the chook shed. We've had people offer chooks from their own family chook collections. And I think the part that's been mostly overwhelming is just the number of people that have offered support for our students. We've had the department's provided great counselling for staff and students, which has been very much appreciated. And I've just also been proud of the way our students have wrapped around each other, because as much as we tried to ensure that the students weren't confronted with the details, they're obviously very aware that it wasn't just an accident. And so it's been around supporting them to understand that although this has been a terrible act, there's also just as many positive acts, in fact more, to focus on in what we want them to learn in our school values about respect, honesty and persistence.
Yeah. Did they find who's done it? Who did it?
Not yet, but SAFEAA have been really thorough and have taken it really seriously and sent in investigation teams and really following it up well. So I really am hopeful. And, there was such a lot left around that I really feel hopeful that we will get an outcome.
Yeah, well, I mean, a pretty well-established link between animal cruelty and other forms of aberrant behaviour later in life. So hopefully the people who did it are found. Kids are pretty resilient at that age, though, aren't they, Vanessa?
They're very resilient. They're very resilient. They've jumped straight on board with the chicken that survived to make sure that chicken's going okay. She's been housed by one of our staff members who has single-handedly nurtured the chickens alongside the children. His name's Dean. Shout out to Dean. And so she's doing really well, and down the track, once we feel a bit safer about security measures, we'll certainly have another go and welcome her back. And I think she'll be our little mascot for a little while as a bit of a success story.
That's great. Good on you, Vanessa. Well, what a bad week, but a nice ending with people rallying around the school to help.
That's true, yeah. Look, really appreciate your support and follow-up with the call. Thanks so much.
No, not at all. Good on you. Vanessa Mortimer, the principal of Ingle Farm Primary School. That's just shocking.
That's awful,
It's bloody
isn't it? You
terrible.
feel for the kid. You feel for
that actually
everything.
happened at my school. We had an animal enclosure at Marion High that was sort of in an area between the major sort of U-shaped school building, and we had emus and we had Cape Barren geese, and one of the geese got killed by some random freak who got in there at night. A lot of people have texted in about the notorious incident at the zoo in 1985. Everyone in Adelaide could remember that, where I think it was an alpaca, a couple of animals that were killed.
There was one in the last couple of years, was there not, where a flamingo was killed? Yeah, but
How could you even bring yourself to do that?
People are unhinged.
Yeah, it
unhinged.
Is. It's seriously unhinged behaviour. Go SAPOL too. Hopefully they get the bastards.
Yeah. Con on the Telstra Storm Outback text line says he's got a nomination for his friend, retired nurse Heather Newbury, for Woman of the Year in our 5AA Breakfast Award ahead of International Women's Day. He says she advocated a 30% pay rise and doubled training for aged care workers.
No.
Oh, Heather, 30%.
Why not?
Well played. And they still don't get probably what they should.
No, it was one of the things that was identified in the report.
Exactly right. That's why we may be in this situation. 13 minutes after 7. If you'd like to speak to Dr. Mike Cusack from SA Health in a moment about the vaccine, call in right now on 8223 0000. We'll put you right through to him and you can ask him any question you like about the vaccine. The rollout starts in Murray Bridge today. The first people to receive the AstraZeneca vaccine will take place a little bit later, and Mike Cusack will join us after the break. But right now we're going to check traffic thanks to Dave Potter. Their Mad March demo clearance is on now with huge savings and factory bonuses across the range.
Lights are playing up on the corner of North East Road, South Power Road, chain of ponds, Birkenhead, a two-car smash, Victoria Road near the bridge. Roadworks today, Waterloo Corner, Road, Angervale Road, Waterloo Corner, Crossroad, Wattle Terrace, Plimpton Park. The King Anniversary Sale ends soon. Save on the best in Australian furniture design. Visit the King Keswick showroom or shop online today at kingliving.com. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Leon Biner.
Let's talk to Gary. Hi, Gary.
Good morning, Leon. Look, thanks. You do a terrific show here.
Thanks.
Well, I actually agree with you initially about this border issue, whereby we go by the rule of law. But however, I've actually changed my mind. That's the beauty of your show. You've got the ability with new facts to change your mind.
9 till 12 weekdays.
I want to see an independent inquiry. I think that's what should be happening.
Well, hang on. The police are the people to do the inquiry.
On 5AA.
Ta-da! So what do you think? Why are you all dressed up?
Well, you said we were going to have a big night.
I said it's bin night. Bin night.
Oh, that's the stretch Hummer.
Time for a hearing check? Specsavers offers great value on latest technology hearing aids. And like some of our customers told us, you could save up to half on prices quoted elsewhere. Book your free 15-minute hearing check with a Specsavers audiology professional at specsavers.com.au/hearing. Conditions apply.
The new Nissan Navara is the ultimate work vehicle. Built tough with advanced tech to get the job done. Speak to your local Nissan fleet experts today about tailoring a vehicle solution for your business needs.
Can I get a price check in aisle 4? I just can't believe that Synovus vitamins, with over 80 years of trust and expertise in every tablet, are as affordable as they are. Be clever healthy.
There's no blueprints to your new custom-built Beechwood home. Well, not yet anyway. But together with Beechwood, it won't take long to turn your ideas into sketches, then drawings, and finally a home you can live a beautiful life in. That's the really exciting thing about building with Beechwood Homes. They'll build the home you want. So collect your thoughts, your ideas, your Pinterest boards, whatever, and let's talk. Because life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
Australia's best fantasy footy game, KFC Supercoach AFL, is back. And there's 50 grand in cash up for grabs. That's 50,000 reasons to win. Register today at supercoach.com.au. Conditions apply. ACT permit number TP21/00040.
Attention all business owners. Do you need a vehicle for your business before June 30? Do you want to take advantage of end of financial year tax benefits and qualify for an instant tax write-off? It could be a van, ute, range of SUVs or a hybrid. Get in touch with the business vehicle specialists, North Point Toyota. Secure your end of financial year Toyotas at North Point Toyota. It's the North Point way. Hillcrest, Prospect or Port Augusta, northpointtoyota.com.au.
Jane pops in for a cuppa with Lorraine, an ACH Group customer living independently and safely at home thanks to Smart Tech.
Do you feel like you've got this protective network around you with the technology that you're using, the smart technology, that makes you live a more independent life?
Absolutely. And as I age more, just to know that going forward, these things will become even more important in my life.
To find out more about ACH Group's Smart Tech service, visit achgroup.org.au.
At Coles, enjoy great value with new Coles Plus online subscription offer. Get double Flybuys points, free unlimited deliveries for orders over $100 and more for just $19 a month. Sign up today and get the first month free. Coles, value the Australian way.
9 News, weeknights at 5, nightly at 6. The switch is on to the news that's live and local. 9 News, made in Adelaide.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
18 minutes after 7, Murray Bridge will be the first in the country to get the AstraZeneca vaccine from in the next 24 hours. The 2-dose treatment being delivered today. Dr. Mike Cusack, the Deputy Chief Public Health Officer from SA Health, joins us. Dr. Cusack, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So, Dr. Cusack, this is pretty awesome. How did little old Murray Bridge end up being the national AstraZeneca capital?
Good question. Well, look, they were absolutely ready to go with all of the equipment in place, with all the staff training in place, and as you say, they got 1,000 doses yesterday morning, and they're going to give it their first 40 shots today.
So who will be the lucky recipients in Murray Bridge? Are they older people?
It'll obviously be it's going to be our frontline healthcare workers, because we're obviously sort of rolling through the phases of 1A at the moment. But this is just part of a much larger rollout across the country areas.
That's awesome. So 1A, is that aged care and health workers?
Well, that's right. That's aged care, but in terms of health, it's the frontline health workers. So you'll be aware that we've been vaccinating the hotel workers who are in that quarantine work stream, the red zone workers in the airport, and of those we've done around 2,600 people so far. So that's really moving at pace. And now this is broadening it out from that sort of very city centre locations into the regions, which is really important. I mean, that's how we're going to protect South Australians best.
Yeah.
Are you aware yet, Dr. Cusack, what the impact will be of a decision by the Italian government to deny delivery of 250,000 AstraZeneca vaccinations to Australia will be here?
I don't really know. Obviously, we've had 300,000 doses in Australia, and that's where we have the 20,000 doses that have come to South Australia. And we're expecting that the CSL sort of production in Melbourne will come on stream at the end of this month, where we really effectively plan to change gear because the volumes of vaccine will increase substantially. So I can't speak to that, I'm afraid. I mean, I would hope that it has a minimal impact because clearly we have to get the public protected.
So the CSL factory in Melbourne, are they making AstraZeneca under licence, are they?
That's right. And they're
cool.
I think, anticipating to make around 1 million doses a week for Australia. So that we've been working on the premise of around 70,000 doses a week in South Australia. Now, it may be possible that they can go above 1 million, and obviously if they do, that'll be great for us because we would have more doses coming into the States.
Well, if they can make 1 million doses a week, we'll be done by August, won't we?
Well, you've obviously got to give a second dose. So I think, and we've got to reach everybody. So I think you'll be well aware of the national plans that everyone will be vaccinated by October, and I think that will probably take account of that need for a second dose. And what we've seen with the AstraZeneca vaccine is that you get more protection from the vaccine if you space out that second dose. So we're really aiming to give that second shot of the AstraZeneca at around 12 weeks after the first shot. So that might still yet take us out into October.
Dr. Cusack, I want to hit on something that we get texts about a lot, and I imagine lots of people talk about, certainly listens to programs like this one and have an understanding of the difference between the vaccines. Efficacy. The AstraZeneca vaccine, 70% effective. Pfizer, Moderna, 95%, 94%. What do you say to people that fear we're getting the second-rate vaccine here?
I really want to reassure them that as we're seeing the real-world data now, so what that is now that more than 200 people have been, 200 million, slight underestimate there, now more than 200 million people have been vaccinated across the globe. We're getting some really good insights as to how these vaccines work in the real world, in people that are at risk of COVID infection day to day, in Europe, in the US, and so forth. And what we're seeing is that these two vaccines are both highly effective. And if I could just take a moment and just talk about a study that they did in Scotland, where they had 5.5 million people or so as the kind of group who they were looking at. And of those, 1.1 million had been vaccinated. And they saw that even after one shot of AstraZeneca, there was a really high degree of protection. And, I mean, if you can read anything into these, it even appeared to be a bit more protective than the Pfizer vaccine in that group. So I think what we're saying is that both vaccines are really safe, both are highly effective, and I think in the real world, as I say, we're not seeing that there's that much between them.
Well, that's good news. Good stuff.
Yeah, and I think we'll see more of this information as it starts to come through, because the UK has vaccinated perhaps 30% of their target population so far, albeit with one jab. So I think as they start to do that second jab, the second part of the vaccination, we'll get some perhaps really clear information as to is one better than the other. But as I say, the early signs are that they appear to be operating, in the real population in a very similar way.
Good stuff. Dr. Mike Cusack, great to catch up with you again, Deputy Chief Public Health Officer for South Australia. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great information, isn't it?
Oh, just my only takeout from that is the word October. October, back at the Governor Hindmarsh with my mates, bumping into old friends, acquaintances, brushing up against each other. Front row, Cosmic Psychos playing on the stage.
We can only
then
hope.
A month later, be it the first or the second test, out the back, hundreds of people on a wangled Saka entry ticket.
Well, we'll be interested to see what attending
Not
sport...
that I've ever done that, of course.
No, I can imagine not. But it'll be interesting to see what attending sport is going to be like in the long term, because we know what it's going to be in the short term.
You know what happens, though? If you get busted by the Saka, this is like sort of being keel-hauled. The punishments are extreme for wangling Saka memberships, people who try to transfer them.
They get cancelled, don't they, on the spot?
Oh, you don't want to do it. You get years of punishment for doing that.
It's time to talk sport thanks to North Point Toyota. Their used vehicle stock is constantly changing. Pop in and take a look. It's the North Point way. We learn a bit about what it's going to be like going to the footy in Adelaide Oval in the short term last night with Rowie Sports Show. He spoke with the head of the SMA, Andrew Daniels. If you've got a thought on this or a query, we're going to talk about it a bit. So have a listen if you haven't heard it and give us a call on 8223 0000. Here he is detailing what the requirements will be to go to the game.
Let's start with masks.
No problem. Look, firstly, we've got 40,000 fans back, and that is just sensational. So a couple of basic requirements that SA Health have recommended as part of our planning. Face masks are required when you arrive at the stadium, when you enter the stadium, and when you're moving around. But once you're in your seat, once you've got to your seat, you can take it off and then cheer as loudly, sing as loud and as well as you like.
Fans in pods?
Fans in pods, yep, all the seating around the stadium in groups of 120, so it'll feel like the good old days. You'll be with your friends, with your family, sitting next to your spouse or your loved one, being able to cheer on in groups of 120, 2 rows separating each group of 120, so spread throughout the stadium.
The hill?
The hill, up on the hill, it's the only standing area allowed in the stadium, divided into pods of 240 square metres with 120 people being able to stand in each one.
So that's what attending the footy will be like this year. That was on Rowie's Sports Show last night. Call in now and let us know what you think about that. 8223 0000. Some of it I think is confusing, and some of it to me feels like it's more about reinforcing the message that things aren't normal right now than it is about some overarching safety directive. I'm not sure why sitting in a group of 120 is much different to sitting normally. I'm not sure 40,000 is much different to 45,000.
I don't know. And look, my key point on all this, and I thought it was great the way Rowie did that bang, bang, bang to get all of that rich detail, like he did with the Olsen interview about the location of the new Crows base. But, look, yeah, a lot of it doesn't make any real logical sense, but the main thing is footy's back. And it's pretty much a capacity crowd. But having said that, why is it that when you're coming in past the merch stand near the Gary McIntosh bar, you've got to have a mask on, but then when you sit down and you've got people all around you, you can take off your mask, stand up and go, boo!
A lot of it feels like a reminder that you're not. This is going to feel normal, but it's still not normal, so don't be silly. That's what it feels like.
Felt good saying ball then, though.
It's going to sound great, too, when footy's back. Jeanette, what do you make of this?
Oh, hello. Nothing's been said about disability seating. I sit in the western stand behind the interchange benches, and I'm just wondering if we're still going to be able to sit there or not.
I am guessing, but with confidence, Jeanette, that you will be.
Yeah.
Because I know the exact area that you're talking about. You're down on the concourse level, aren't you?
There's plenty of space.
Yeah, you'll be right.
Yeah, I think
you'll be right.
fine.
So will the people in wheelchairs who sit up the top there on the 4th level.
Right, okay.
I reckon those seats will be fine. You'll be back at the footy. Crows or Port, Jeanette?
I take a walker and I just pull up in one of the wheelchair bays there and sit. Actually, it'll be good for us because we won't have the hundreds of people all standing up behind us this time.
Well, actually, that's true. The people who lean up against the bricks, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they'll all have to go sit down somewhere.
Are you Crows or Port, Jeanette?
I'm Crows.
Oh, good on you.
Yeah, I've been going for many, many years.
Beautiful.
Good on you,
Okay,
Jeanette.
thanks very much.
Well, hopefully you'll be there for the first game at Adelaide Oval that the Crows are participating in. 29 after 7. Keep your thoughts coming in. Telstra Storm Out Barker text line, or you can call us 8223 0000.
If you think the only thing better than your Mazda is a new Mazda, now is the right time to upgrade to the next model in the Mazda family. It's a new year, and it's also a great time to take advantage of 2020 plate sales at Mawson Lakes Mazda. We know the only thing more exhilarating than taking a new Mazda for a test drive is taking one home. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city, Salisbury Highway.
Hi, I'm Craig Kirkwood from Goldsborough Financial Services. I'm passionate about helping people understand how important life insurance is as part of a long-term financial planning strategy. I've helped many of our clients successfully claim against their policies to help protect their family or business. I can explain the different types of products available to you and the best way to structure your policies. See our website, then come and see us. We're here for your peace of mind. Goldsborough, for all your tomorrows. Goldsboro Financial Services, AFSL number 225330.
The Adelaide property market is experiencing strong interest from interstate buyers, with home values hitting 5.9% growth throughout 2020.
And our good friends at Toop and Toop are right across it. They've got marketing tools that let buyers, be they local, interstate or overseas, create and imagine what it'd be like to live in their dream home before they even walk in the front door.
When COVID restrictions were more severe, people became more familiar with using digital tools to inspect property. Toop Create tools, Toop Design, Toop Furnish and Toop Tour grew in popularity by almost 4,000% last year.
And look, it just goes to show that it's more important than ever to provide a complete online experience for buyers.
Cutting-edge stuff from the industry innovator Toop and Toop, the new generation of property marketing. Visit create.toop.com.au.
Save up to 55% off Sealy Posturepedic Exquisite discontinued floor stock mattresses and ensembles now at Harvey Norman. Now's the time to upgrade your mattress and support Australian-made manufacturing. Plus, purchase with 60 months interest-free and receive a bonus gift card up to the value of $500. Minimum finance amount $1,000. Approved applicants only. 60 equal monthly payments. Interest applies if you do not comply with terms and conditions. Fees and exclusions apply. Save up to 55% off Sealy Posturepedic Exquisite discontinued floor stock mattresses and ensembles now at Harvey Norman.
Been missing live events? Adelaide Fringe is back for 2021. There's over 800 events to choose from in over 275 venues. So what will you see this year? With so much choice, there's never been a better time to fringe your way. But make sure you book early because capacities are limited. Adelaide Fringe from Feb 19 to March 21. To book your tickets, head to adelaidefringe.com.au. Thanks to Principal Partner Bank SA.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy and 26 today. With the 7:30 news, I'm Kendall Brettig.
Woken with a stiff neck or sore back? Get a Physio Extra appointment today. 6 locations, physioextra.com.
There's been a boating tragedy off Outer Harbour. A boat crashed into rocks and sank last night near the southern breakwater. Senior Constable Kate Dawson says 2 men fell into the water.
One man was able to make it back to the breakwater and he was winched to safety by the helicopter, but sadly the second man was found unresponsive in the water. His body was recovered by our police water operations unit a short time later.
The death of the 77-year-old man from Windsor Gardens isn't considered suspicious. Police will prepare a report for the coroner. And a man has been charged with attempted murder after a stabbing at Wingfield last night. Police were called to Graham Street, finding a man with a stab wound to the back. A 36-year-old Wingfield man was arrested at the scene. He'll face court today. The 2 men are known to each other. 1,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine arrived in Murray Bridge yesterday. Those receiving the jab in the regional town will be the first in the country to get it. Deputy Chief Medical Officer Dr Mike Cusack has told 5AA Breakfast 40 people will receive their vaccinations today.
They were absolutely ready to go with all of the equipment in place, with all the staff training in place. They got 1,000 doses yesterday morning and they're going to give it their first 40 shots today. It's going to be our frontline healthcare workers, because we're obviously sort of rolling through the phases of 1A at the moment.
While Italy has blocked a shipment of the AstraZeneca vaccine to Australia, the move to ban 250,000 doses is being backed by the European Commission over contract commitments in Europe. Meghan Markle has suggested the British royal family has been perpetuating falsehoods about her and Prince Harry ahead of a tell-all interview with Oprah. More from the BBC's Johnny Diamond.
If anyone thought that Harry and Meghan were going to skirt around the royal family and how they perceive they were treated by it, they should think again. In this brief teaser clip, Meghan is asked how she feels the palace will feel about their interview.
I don't know how they could expect that after all of this time, we would still just be silent if there is an active role that the firm is playing in perpetuating falsehoods about us. And if that comes with risk of losing things, I mean, there's a lot that's been lost already.
The interview was recorded before the palace launched an investigation into allegations that the Duchess bullied 2 members of staff and humiliated another.
While Buckingham Palace says Prince Philip has had a procedure for a pre-existing heart condition, the 99-year-old will remain in hospital for a few more days. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Flurio milk comes from local cows and it's bottled right here. Look for the local Flurio Milk Company.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Let's start with footy. Port Adelaide defender Ryan Burton is hopeful a rejigged training program will have him fit and firing in 2021. The 24-year-old managed only 8 games last year, but he's told Rowie he's feeling much better this pre-season.
We've changed a few things in my pre-season program, and I've basically done every pre-season session this year, which means I've got a really good block of fitness under my belt. And I'm ready to go for this year. So fingers crossed we can play every game.
Yeah, it's great to hear. Meantime, West Coast forward Willie Rioli should be back playing AFL footy in the latter part of the season. The 25-year-old's been given a backdated 2-year ban for allegedly tampering with a urine sample. West Coast General Manager of Football Craig Vozzo says changes need to be made to the investigation process, which has taken more than 18 months to complete.
We would think that there's a better way to govern these types of serious matters. It's not reducing the severity of what we're looking to achieve in these situations. It's more the process to come to a resolution has to be far less than, in this case, 18 months in our view.
Meantime, Melbourne ruckman Max Gawn has signed a 4-year contract extension with the Demons. Briefly elsewhere, South Australia suffered a 6-wicket loss against New South Wales in their one-day clash at Adelaide Oval last night. The Adelaide 36ers have gone down by 9 points against Illawarra in the NBL, leaving them battling in 6th spot. And Chelsea leads Liverpool 1-0 at half-time in their EPL clash this morning. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Dave Potter, Australia's #1 selling Honda dealer. For a new car, make them your #1 choice.
A couple of breakdowns around the place: West Croydon, Port Road, Kilkenny Road and Cross Road in Erbray. The freeway down track dealing with roadworks near the tunnels at Crafers, Plimpton Park, Cross Road, Wattle Terrace, roadworks later on today as well. Foxtel's kicking off the footy seasons with an amazing offer. Get live sport in 4K, Ultra HD, drama and Netflix all in one place. Want to get Foxtel? Search Foxtel or call 131787. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Make sure you and your car stay cool with aircon and cooling services. Call 1300 Automasters.
Partly cloudy and 26 today. Saturday sunny 28. Sunday cloudy 29 and cloudy again for Monday 27. At the moment 12. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
23 minutes to 8. John Blake before 8 o'clock. We'll have all your long weekend weather details in just a moment. First, let's head to Canberra. I bet it's felt like a long week for Scott Morrison. Phil Curry, the Australian Financial Review, joins us. Morning to you, Phil.
Morning, Will. Phil, we were speculating earlier that it feels like Linda Reynolds is in such a pickle that she might, and clearly she's unwell. She's got the heart condition. She's on medical leave for that. And she's pretty much confirmed that she did say words to the effect of lying cow about this woman who's allegedly been raped. Do you reckon she might just walk away from her position on the front bench?
Look, I think there's a reasonable chance of that, Dave. I mean, as I understand it, Linda was supposed to be back at work on Monday, but I think it may be a bit longer than that now. It's actually unclear that he called Brittany Higgins a lying cow. In the statement she issued afterwards, it wasn't about the alleged rape of Brittany Higgins. It was about a report of how Brittany Higgins was subsequently treated. Because remember, Linda Reynolds was her boss, and even Brittany Higgins sort of said in a statement she put together that she was very supportive and took her to the police and did all those things. And then Brittany Higgins decided not to go through with it because she thought she might lose her job. So what I do understand is when this all came out, both Linda Reynolds and another woman who now works in the PM's office were quite offended at sort of reports or suggestions that they didn't do the right thing. They were callous and so forth. So that was.
So she might have been saying it about like a female reporter or something.
Yes, that was also the other thing. Came around yesterday. Yeah, she saw something on the TV and just sort of,
Is it anyone we know?
Don't know. I won't go there. But look, you sort of nuance, it just gets lost in all this. There's a real hysteria about the place at the moment. There really is, and so Brittany Higgins sort of got a lawyer yesterday and threatened to sue Linda Reynolds if she doesn't do a public apology, and it just all feeds into the whole mess.
Hearing any reaction yet in Canberra, Phil, to the news overnight that the Italian government has denied 250,000 AstraZeneca vaccines delivery to Australia because of shortages in Europe?
They're not happy, Will, but they're not surprised. We've been worried about this. This is why the government never announces a shipment has arrived until it's actually arrived. As Greg Hunt said a while back, it's not here until it's here. This is a bit like when the coronavirus plague broke out and there wasn't enough masks and gowns and gloves and that sort of thing. And shipments were being sort of hijacked and governments were outbidding governments. Planes were literally turning around mid-air and going to other countries that had offered to pay more. And there's a worry the same will happen with the vaccine. So this wasn't unexpected, but it's unwelcome. And I think we are a victim of our own success because the Italians, they're a complete basket case the way they've handled it. And they're pointing to Australians saying, well, you don't need it, because you don't have coronavirus. And so I think that's a worrying sign. If that's now a legitimate excuse because our need isn't as urgent, our vaccine, which we're paid for and, we're legitimately entitled to, goes somewhere else. So, but because we still need it. We've got to open our borders and our economy and these sorts of things. I think it's reassuring and kudos to the government here that we're one of 8 countries manufacturing the vaccine and we're actually making the AstraZeneca vaccine in Melbourne. So ultimately, we don't have anything to worry about. We're making it here. So we're good. It just might mean a delay. If there's more of this, the government said they wanted to get everyone at least have their first jab by October, but if there's more of this sort of nonsense, that may get pushed back. But ultimately, we're in a much better position than nearly every other country in the world because we're making our own. So, it might be a case the Italians might come tapping into us in 8 months' time and say, can we tell me about it? We might say no. So, unwelcome, but not unexpected.
Yeah. Great stuff as always, Phil. Phil Curry, the National Political Editor of the Financial Review. Have a great weekend, mate.
You too. See you.
A lot of text on the old Telstra Store Mount Barker text line, as I always call it.
You always have.
I have, apart from that one time. Someone's put that up on Twitter.
I know.
You and I
with the video,
trying to hold it together while Blakey did that superb sex line sketch. That for me. That's in his top 10. I just think that was so funny.
It's both hilarious and haunting because the idea of you as being some sort of comfort line operator I found it a little disturbing, actually.
I was beyond disturbing. A lot of people on the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line confused. Well, they're sort of happy but confused about the footy arrangements. People like Jenny saying, just to add to this, bizarre, went to the weekend of rock at the Adelaide Oval. We had to wear a mask to the seat, was on the grass area. The seats were tied together, so they were 1 centimetre apart. You could stand up in front of the seat, sing and dance, but as soon as you moved from the seat, you had to put the mask on. Please explain. Heaps of messages along those lines. Although one here from Sam that makes sense to me. Fellas, you wear masks while you're mobile because they have no tracking of you. Whereas if somebody in a seat next to you gets sick, they can identify everybody nearby. That's sort of the logic, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
But I like this text, and I think, again, even though I'm not a religious person, I think that the treatment of organised religion, the observance of church services, religious services on Sundays and so on, these people have probably been the least effective in terms of, they haven't got an AHA, they haven't got a lobby group. The church down near the Pasadena shopping centre that has services in Indonesian. Every time I drive past it, I think, those poor people can't.
Yeah, no one's lobbying on their behalf.
Pray, etc. We'll try to double check this to see if it is still the case. But Kat texted in saying, so you're allowed to cheer loudly at the footy, but you're not allowed to sing in church.
If that's right, that's an oversight that speaks to the way in which religion is now treated.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it is right.
I can't imagine it's right.
Can people tell us? Like, we'll try to check this with SA Health.
That needs to get fixed. If it is,
but if you're going to church this Sunday, and like as I said, may God strike me down, but it's been several years since I've done that, so I don't know. But we should ring our friendly vicar in Parkside. He's great, that bloke. What's his name? The guy from the little church there. He's a very, very excellent theologian.
Well,
whenever we have him
we'll
on.
make some inquiries, but
Yeah.
if you're involved in your local church and you can let us know, 8223
Because
or
if you
text
can
us on
go,
the Telstra Summit Barker text line.
if you can go ball, you should be able to go praise Jesus, don't you think?
Yeah, I would have thought
and
so.
sing your hymns.
Peace be with you.
Yeah, why not?
Marg has called in. Morning to you, Marg.
Oh, good morning, guys.
How you going, Marg?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just on my way to work, actually, and I never call in, but I wanted to call in about the seating relocation for members of the Adelaide Crows, and I just feel really, really disappointed. Look, I'm a nurse, so I understand the SA Health Directive around the 75% capacity, but I don't wear a mask at work anymore, yet I have to wear a mask at the football. My current seats are 7 rows from the front, pretty much in the middle of the ground, and we've been relocated to section 533 and about 7 rows from the back of the stand. So they promised in the email that it would be something similar to what we were used to, but this is just so far from that, and that's where my disappointment from last year continues to this year, and, it's 2 weeks out from the start of the season, and I'm just really disappointed in the way it's all being done. I just think it continues with the poor management and the treatment of the fans. It seems to be an ongoing thing for me. And
Who would have done the reallocation, Marg?
I think probably Ticketek. But they said the Crows said in the email it would be something similar to what you already have. Well, we've got pretty good seats, being 7 rows from the front in the middle, and I think being 7 rows from the back up in 533, which is section 3, and whereas Power are readjusting the membership fees for those who are seated in a lesser area, they're also getting a $35 merchandise voucher, whereas we're not at this point. Nothing in an email states anything like that. So I just think that, as I said, I completely understand it. I'm not wearing a mask at work in the hospital, but I have to wear a mask at football. So I don't know.
That is Marg,
weird.
that's not right how you've been dealt with there. I wonder if others have been in a similar boat, or you were one that slipped through the cracks. 8223 is the number. 533 is not all bad, Marg. That's where I sit with my family. So worst case scenario, you can yell out and say hi.
Oh, okay. It seems to be a long way back to me.
Compared to where you are, it is.
7 rows from the front is where we're normally sitting. So,
No. I completely appreciate it. And people who go to the footy will have their preference. Some like to sit at ground level. Some like to sit in an elevated position. And if you've got used to one and you've been promised you're not moving far, then that's not right. Appreciate the call, Marg. We'll hear from others if that's a similar situation where others have been mistreated. But I hate to think you've just been, it was too hard and we've had to stick you up the back. Mary in North Brighton, good morning.
Hello.
You've got some news about singing in church, Mary.
Yes. We went through a period where we were closed. Then we went through a period where we had nothing, no singing. Then we had a humming period where we used to hum to the tune as the organ was played. And now we play our 5 hymns and sing and, there are all other COVID things that we have to do.
But you can sing?
Yes. And,
okay.
And we have a sung Eucharist, and so it took a while to get back that in, but it's in now as well.
So what does happen for communion, Mary?
Oh, well, communion, we've got crosses everywhere on the floor. So you're the 1.5 metres from each other, and you come out of your pew and you go up, and the minister administers the wafer, but there's no wine.
Okay.
No wine still.
Well, at least
singing.
Good to hear singing's back.
Well, that's good. Geez, the humming must have been a bit unrewarding.
Well, it was a bit peculiar to start with, but after a while it was pretty good.
So the theory was you didn't have your mouths open, obviously.
That's right. Quite a few.
Imagine doing Handel's Messiah, the humming version. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Well, it's quite good, actually. Our minister has perfect pitch, so it's pretty good.
Mary, thank you for calling. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, bye.
It's 11 minutes to 8, and time to check traffic. Thanks to Dave Potter Honda. Their Mad March demo clearance is on now. with huge savings and factory bonuses right across the range.
A few breakdowns about the place. Port Road, Kilkenny Road, West Croydon, on Cross Road in Erbray and Pennington, Grand Junction Road, Eastern Parade, affecting westbound. Do you have a Bellissimo body? Then pamper it with the very best. An Australian-made Bellissimo mattress by Maker Mattresses. Nobody makes a better mattress, nobody. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
At Specsavers, we know we could all use a spare pair.
Where are my glasses?
Luckily, you can get 2 designer pairs, no gap, from the $199 single vision range with selected health funds. Only at Specsavers. Conditions apply.
When you think surgery, you think hospital, right? Well, Dr. Greg Keane wants you to think SportsMed.
SportsMed is the only purpose-built orthopaedic hospital in the country, with world-class nursing and theatre staff, a first-class catering team, and the latest innovations in patient treatment and care.
And your surgeons?
We're experts in all procedures for hips, knees, feet, ankles, shoulders, elbows, wrists and hands.
All your treatments, all your care. One place. SportsMed.
Start living life again after your successful surgery.
SportsMed.com.au.
For over 36 years, Steinborner has been well worth the trip. With over 400 used cars to choose from, you're sure to find the car you're looking for. Steinborner is your first choice for new Hyundai and Mitsubishi in the Barossa, and your first choice for Ford in Clare. And don't forget, you can always click through the collection of vehicles online at steinborner.com.au. Great local deals on great local cars from your locals. Steinborner Automotive. Still well worth the trip, or well worth the click.
Hi, I'm Peter Berkowitz from Berkowitz Furniture. The Stressless sale is now on. We're inviting you to enjoy a level of comfort like nothing on earth. There's nothing quite like a stressless recliner or sofa. And with huge savings across the range, Berkowitz is the destination for stressless. Experience comfort that's been 100% designed and manufactured in Norway. The Stressless sale at Berkowitz Mile End. We're not just a furniture store, we're a furniture family.
You know us for our bright blue vans. Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning. We are the proud winners of the Product Review Award for Plumbing in Australia for 2020 and 21. Did you know we offer $0 deposit interest-free payment plans, have no extra charge for after hours and can also often be at your door within the hour? Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning. Available 24/7.
Hop into Coles for 25% off Easter confectionery. From Cadbury Dairy Milk eggs to Lindt mini eggs and even Lindt bunnies. 25% off Easter confectionery at Coles. Value the Australian way. Offer ends Tuesday while stocks last. Exclusions apply.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
8 to 8, long weekend just around the corner. Amelia Mulcahy from 7 News has all the weather news for us. Morning to you, Amelia.
Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. And it's even better because it's the Friday before a long weekend. How good. And it's looking great. We've got pretty much a cracker forecast for this long weekend too. We're going for a top firstly today of 26 degrees. Cool this morning though, a low of around 11.6. We dropped to that a short time ago. And then it's up temperature-wise, so 28 degrees the top tomorrow. A little bit breezy about the hills and southern suburbs, so maybe if you're heading away to Victor or, down south over the long weekend, just keep that in mind. You might want to grab a jacket if you're heading out. Sunday we're going up to 29 degrees, but interestingly, it'll be warm overnight into Sunday. We're looking at a low around 18, so, warmish. Nice. When you think about all the mornings we've had this week, I think yesterday was our coldest we'd seen all year. So we've got, some slightly warmer overnight periods on the way. So if you're heading out, maybe Saturday night, you're going to a fringe show or something, it should be much nicer than what we've seen this week. 29 the top Sunday. There is a slight chance of a shower on Sunday. There will be a bit of cloud around. And a similar day on Monday, 27 degrees. Again, with a bit of cloud around, you just can't rule out that slight chance of a shower. But, it's nothing. We're not expecting huge totals in the gauge or anything like that. So really, great long weekend away. If you're heading away on Saturday, if you're over on Eyre Peninsula, there could be a slight chance of a shower around there. And then areas sort of pretty much anywhere that's sort of east of Ceduna, I'd say, has a shot at showers on Sunday. But really, it's just a slight chance. Other than that, warmer weather, about average, slightly warmer than this time, what we expect for this time of year. So
beautiful.
Great long weekend ahead.
Absolutely, and it looks like it's going to be nice all week. It's going to be a cracking week weather-wise. Beautiful. Bring it on, Amelia. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sure, I'll claim it.
Amelia Mulcahy reads her for 7 News and is also Mother Nature. Thank you, Amelia. All right, it's time for John Blake.
The lawyer for a woman who has accused the Federal Attorney General of rape says there needs to be an independent investigation. Christian Porter denies he sexually assaulted the woman back in 1988 when they were teenagers. He says it's up to the Prime Minister to call for an inquiry.
It's been a kooky reading staple adored by children worldwide for decades, but 6 books written by Dr. Seuss will no longer be published, with some images now considered to be racist and insensitive. Dr. Seuss Enterprises says the books portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong. The announcement comes on what would have been the author's 117th birthday.
I like reading, if I can, my books before they get banned. My favorites, without a doubt, without thinking they just throw them out. I've got this feeling that none of them give a damn, and I'll be squealing if they caught green eggs and ham. Reading Dr. Seuss, it's no use. The books are full of racial abuse. Who knew? It's taboo. When you're reading Horton, here's a who. That cat in the hat. Come on, you can't read that. Reduce your use. Everybody stop, everybody stop. Everybody stop, everybody stop. Everybody stop, everybody stop. Everybody, Dr. Seuss.
More from John Blake after 8:30 when we go behind closed doors.
Ready for adventure? Dave Benson Caravans have over 120 caravans and campers ready for your next one. With overseas travel off the cards for a while, invest your holiday dollars in a DBC caravan. Your valued dollars don't disappear. They remain in the asset of your luxury van. And you get to enjoy a holiday, seeing Australia's beauty. Come see the caravan specialists at Dave Benson Caravans to tailor your dream holiday on wheels. Your adventure begins here. 64 Grand Junction Road, Kilburn.
We keep up to date with the renting legislation, so you don't have to. Hi, Susanna Toop here from Toop & Toop. As COVID-19 continues to impact everyone in our community, what is needed now more than ever is clarity. At Toop & Toop, we've opened up our weekly real estate radio show, so you can get expert advice at any time. Give us a call on 8362 8888 or go to toop.com.au/landlordadvice. We're here to support you if you have any questions.
Shop online with Coles and save with Mad March. Today only get a big 10% off any order over $150. All you need to do is use the promo code Mad March, all one word at the checkout. 10% off when you spend $150 or more with Coles online. Just make sure you use the promo code Mad March. Now, this offer ends today. And as always, you get free delivery on all orders over $250. 10% off offer capped at $30. T's and C's apply.
Tyre Power have topped the customer satisfaction table again, winning CanStar Blue's Most Satisfied Customer Award for 6 of the last 7 years. With 5-star reviews in every category, why would you buy your tyres anywhere else? Visit tyrepower.com.au.
9 News, weeknights at 5, nightly at 6. The switch is on to the news that's live and local. 9 News, made in Adelaide. Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Minute to wait, doing our own Woman of the Year for the meat tray this morning. Three Little Pigs Gourmet Butcher. Nick and the team, 436 Henley Beach Road at Lockley's. International Women's Day is on the 8th of March, which falls on the public holiday Monday. So we're asking you to nominate today for our own 5AA Breakfast Woman of the Year award. Getting some terrific nominations through as well. Anna says, I'd like to nominate my sister, who's been a major advocate for the aged care sector for over 15 years. She's spoken out and lobbied various government departments for transparency and accountability for all aged care homes. She's now experiencing her own medical problems but is still active in her quest. In my opinion, she's a worthy nomination for Meat Tray Friday. We agree. Anna, that's a lovely one. And keep them coming in. 8223 0000 or text us on the Telstra Storm Out Barker text line.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy and 26 today with the 8 o'clock news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
FIVEaa Extra is a registered NDIS provider, so let them support you in achieving your goals. FIVEaAextra.com.
Evacuations are underway in New Zealand and other nations in the Pacific are on tsunami watch after a magnitude 8 earthquake. People along the east coast of the North Island have been told to head to higher ground or as far inland as possible. The country's Civil Defence Minister says it's a life and death warning. Geoscience Australia's Spiros Philopoulos says the tremor follows a slightly smaller quake off New Zealand overnight.
6 hours later, we had this magnitude 8 earthquake, which is about 1,000 kilometres north of the first earthquake near the Kermadec Islands, and that was magnitude 8, as I said, and occurred Australian time about 6:27 this morning.
Police will be preparing a report for the coroner after a boating accident off Outer Harbour last night. A 15-foot fiberglass boat suffered engine trouble and crashed into rocks at the southern Outer Harbour breakwater. 2 men fell into the water. The police helicopter rescued one of them. The 66-year-old was taken to the RAH with chest injuries which are not considered life-threatening. But the second man, a 77-year-old from Windsor Gardens, was found unresponsive in the water. South Australia will lead the nation in the rollout of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Frontline workers in Murray Bridge will be the first to receive the jab today. Unlike the Pfizer vaccine, AstraZeneca doesn't need a super deep freeze. Health Minister Stephen Wade says that makes it ideal for regional centres.
We are a geographically diverse country. To get this vaccine to every South Australia, we need AstraZeneca.
And we're being assured a quarter of 1 million doses of the vaccine being sent here will not affect the rollout. Italy's become the first country to use new EU regulations to ban the export of COVID-19 vaccines. So far, we're the only country targeted. But Senior Government Minister Peter Dutton has told Today we'll soon be producing our own vaccine here.
It's only a few weeks away before 1 million doses a week will be rolling out. This 250,000 dose issue is not going to affect the rollout.
Former Liberal staffer Brittany Higgins says she's deeply hurt the Defence Minister has called her a lying cow. She's threatening Linda Reynolds with defamation if she doesn't retract the remark and publicly apologise. The Senator insists the statement wasn't about her claim about being raped, but rather commentary on how her office handled it. Police in Washington DC are on high alert due to the threat of more violence at the US Capitol. More from Nine's Michael Genovese.
The House of Representatives won't be sitting today after a warning from the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security, who say a group of militia violent extremists discussed plans to take control of the US Capitol and remove Democratic lawmakers on or about March 4th. More than 300 people have been charged over the deadly siege on January 6th. Authorities say there's no evidence that groups have travelled to the Capitol ahead of today. More than 5,000 National Guard troops remain in Washington.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Flurio milk comes from local cows and it's bottled right here. Look for the local Flurio Milk Company.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Adelaide Chairman John Olsen has given his strongest indication yet the Crows could move to Thebarton. Mr Olsen telling Rowie it's a great facility.
And if Adelaide Football Club go there, you will have it for the first time in Australia, a Australian rules football precinct that's community, league, elite football.
And there was one pre-season game last night with St Kilda 26-point winners against Carlton. Let's go to cricket in South Australia's players will recover today following last night's 6-wicket loss against New South Wales. Meantime, India has the upper hand after the opening day of the 4th test against England in Ahmedabad. The tourists were bowled out for 205. Spinner Axar Patel, again the chief destroyer with 4 wickets.
The thread ball.
There's a pandemic. It's called a straight ball, and it's getting everybody.
That call there on Fox Sports. The Adelaide 36ers form slump has continued after suffering a 9-point loss against Illawarra. It's the Sixers' third straight loss. In tennis news, Australian Open semi-finalist Stefanos Tsitsipas is through to the quarter-finals at the Rotterdam Open after a hard-fought 3-set win against Poland's Hubert Hurkacz. Meantime, the top 2 seeds at the Qatar Open have been beaten. Alina Svitolina and Karolina Pliskova both suffering straight-set losses. Chelsea still 1-0 up against Liverpool with about half hour to play in their English Premier League clash. And in some golf to finish, Rory McIlroy shares the lead with Canadian Corey Connors at 6 under. That's late in the opening round of the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Dave Potter, Australia's #1 Honda dealer, 2nd year running. DavePotterHonda.com.au.
A smashed Deviation Road, Forest Range, breakdowns, Port Road, Kilkenny Road, West Croydon, Cross Road, Erbray, Grand Junction Road, Eastern Parade in Pennington. Telstra's 7-day price matches here. If you find a better price on a range of phones within 7 days of purchase, Telstra will credit your bill. T's and C's apply. Visit telstra.com/price match. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Make sure you and your car stay cool with aircon and cooling services. Call 1300 Automasters.
Partly cloudy and 26 today, sunny tomorrow 28, Sunday cloudy 29 and cloudy again for Monday 27. At the moment 14. More news as it happens on 5AA.
In the last hour on Adelaide's 5AA.
Principal of the Inglevale Primary School is Vanessa Mortimer, who joins us on the line.
It's been a really difficult week for the students at Inglevale Primary School. We had some vandalism at our school, and unfortunately the vandalism included the chickens being killed. The chickens were left for children to find on the school tennis courts before school, which was very disturbing and disappointing.
Dr. Cusack, this is pretty awesome. How did little old Murray Bridge end up being the national AstraZeneca capital?
They were absolutely ready to go with all of the equipment in place, with all the staff training in place. They got 1,000 doses yesterday morning, and they're going to give it their first 40 shots today. But this is just part of a much larger rollout across the country areas.
A lot of people confused about the footy arrangements. Why is it that when you're coming in past the merch stand near the Gary McIntosh bar, you've got to have a mask on, but then when you sit down and you've got people all around you, you can take off your mask, stand up and go, boo!
A lot of it feels like a reminder that this is going to feel normal, but it's still not normal, so don't be silly.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
7 after 8, breaking 8 coming up in just a moment. Australia's first AstraZeneca jab has just been administered. Dr. Carolyn Fegan has received it at Murray Bridge, the first of millions. This is the vaccine that will be manufactured at CSL in Victoria as well. So we'll start to make it here, and that will mean we can speed up the rollout significantly. But it is a big moment in Australia and in South Australia, and it happened right there at Murray Bridge. 8 after 8.
So you recall that at this time yesterday we were flooded with calls from ambulance services officers about the conditions that they're working under. We spoke to one Ambo who had just knocked off from the night shift, and we said at the end of that very lengthy segment where we heard from about 6 people who are on the front line that we had received a very compelling text from a 000 call taker at the SA ambulance service, and that we didn't want to rush it and jam it in at the end of yesterday's show, and that we thought that we would save it for today's Breaking at 8 because it goes to the absolute core of the issues that are being discussed around at staffing levels in a part of government which is designed, obviously, to protect people who are at death's door. Now just have a listen to this. I'm a 000 call taker at SAAS. I'm too nervous to call you because management will know who I am. Our working conditions in our communication centre are just as bad as on the road. We are spectacularly understaffed. We work in a building that's outdated with mould downstairs, and we have no room to expand. As a call taker, we regularly can't answer 000 calls as we are already all on the phone. When this happens, a buzzer goes off in the background, and you're constantly thinking, I need to answer this call as it could be somebody in cardiac arrest. But you can't, as you're already on a call. I sit there and listen to my dispatchers constantly scrambling for crews to send, and when I'm on a call with someone who is really sick and I have to stay on the phone with them, I look at my screen and feel sick to my stomach as there's no crew to send. The family are on the phone saying, where are they? Where are the crew? And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, we don't have one. We need a new building, but most of all, we need more resources. Enough is enough. Now, since we received that text, I made some calls myself, and we ended up getting our hands on some audio of these calls coming through that better than anything demonstrates the pressures that these staff are currently under.
Priority 2 traumatised Blackwood uncovered. Priority 2 collapsed case Belair uncovered. Priority 2 chest pain Seacliff uncovered. Priority 2 collapsed case Norwood uncovered. Priority 2 collapsed case St Mary's uncovered. Priority 2 psych case Oaklands Park uncovered. And a Priority 2 abdo pain uncovered at Morpeth Vale.
Wow.
Imagine doing that for a living. And as we heard yesterday, there was a situation the other day where the only available ambulance down south was in Yankalilla. Like this, I don't know why the government doesn't just say, all right, we're going to clear the diary. We're going to have a day next week where we're just going to bring all these people in and talk to them and say, what do you need? I mean, money's no object at the moment. You know, we can find funds for all sorts of things as a result of COVID. How about we find some money to fix this?
Yeah, this is not a luxury. This is sort of frontline, first world public health. And this is the whole reason it exists, doesn't it?
What's the downside for the government to just sit down with all these people and say, hey, look, there's clearly a problem here. How do we fix it? And it's probably a complicated problem where there's other issues, like part of it would be human behaviour, where sometimes maybe there's people ringing ambulances who don't need to ring ambulances. You know, there's things about over-presentations of hospitals and all that sort of stuff. But part of it clearly appears to be not enough boots on the ground.
Yeah, it certainly does.
We've got calls about this as well. People are calling in to talk to us, and I think they're FIVEaa workers.
All right, Aaron, good morning to you, mate.
Good morning, how are you?
Good, thanks, mate. So you work in FIVEaa?
Yes, I'm a ambulance coordinator.
Does
for
this,
the metropolitan
what we
area.
just said, and the audio that we just played, is that sort of an aberration, or is that any given evening working in FIVEaa?
Any given evening, any given day, it's happening in an increasing factor. It's absolutely abhorrent.
How do you deal with the job, mate? Like, what do you do when you knock off from that?
I don't think about it. I just drive. I just go home and I eat dinner, chill out, watch TV, and come to bed. There's nothing else I can do. The workload level has been increasing to record-breaking levels on a night shift in early Feb. If it's okay if I tell a story real quick.
Yeah.
But a night shift in early February, the work was like New Year's Eve, but without the resourcing that went with it. And I was coordinating Metro South in the early hours of that morning, and most of my resources were either at a patient's house, on the way to hospital, or at hospital. And I had roughly 8 uncovered Priority 2s for my coordination stint of two and a bit hours. And 8 uncovered for the entire time, nothing I could do.
What does uncovered mean, Aaron?
So I had no resource to go to it.
So it means there's no ambulance to go to someone?
No ambulance there. It was just on my screen waiting for me to assign someone to go to it. And there was one case that I remember, it was a chest pain case in the eastern suburbs that I was unable to dispatch a crew to for over an hour and 15 minutes. It was on my screen and I couldn't do anything with it for an hour and 15.
Chest pain?
Yes, a chest pain case. And it's gotten worse since. We thought 10 uncovered cases was bad then. This was early February. Just like the first one we heard a crew had no break for their entire night shift was bad. It's getting worse, and it's emotionally and physically fatiguing, and I don't know where we'll go from here.
Why is it getting worse, Aaron?
It's hard to pin down. It's just we don't have the resources. We don't, the levels of ramping in hospital aren't helping. We just, I can't pinpoint a single reason as why it's getting worse, but it is.
Yeah, but you're the one that has to deal with it in the end. Aaron, thanks for calling us. We appreciate that. Is incredible insight. Liam has also called in. Morning, Liam.
Ian, how are you going?
We're good, thanks, mate.
What can you tell us?
Just
Actually, I think we've got a dodgy line. Sorry,
your phone's
Liam.
letting you down a little bit there, Liam.
We have actually got other people calling, though.
Give us a call back. We'll get to you. Mel's on the line. Morning, Mel.
Hi, how you going?
Good, thanks, Mel.
Yeah, I'm one of the extended care paramedics, and part of our role is out on road. So when we're on road, we're finding the same sort of, hundreds of kilometres in a shift, 12 to 15 hour shifts without a break. or only getting one break in the first few hours. But the other part of our job is sitting up in comms with the dispatchers and the call takers, and we support the call takers on those extended calls, and we sit there and we have the dispatchers say to us, you know, I've got 5 priority 2s on my screen. Which one do you want me to send the crew to? And you're playing roulette.
You must, and the thing I thought about that text message too was that you're making all of these judgment calls at the time without the backup that you need, and then you've still got families ringing you saying, "Where are they? Where are the crew?"
Yeah, and sometimes the families are really abusive, and you know you don't blame them really because they're really stressed.
Yeah.
They're really distressed, and you've just got. And we call people back when we're not going to meet them in the required time frame and meet the KPI. And, you know, there'll be some people we ring back 2 or 3 times. You feel like you should be on the Christmas card list because you've had that sort of constant calling back, and just it feels like we're just waiting for people to fall outside of the box of being, you know, a priority 5, a priority 3, so then we can upgrade to a priority 2 to get someone to them. But then we're juggling that with, you know, we've got a crew who hasn't had a break in their entire shift. We're now putting them at risk by upgrading this job to get someone to them and having them drive, you know, lights and sirens, high-risk driving through traffic, quite often, you know, unfavourable weather or traffic conditions with no break. And then they have to make critical, you know, life and death decisions when they get there as well, you know. And then they transport them through to hospital and sit on the therapeutic vacuum that is the ramp.
Mel, thank you, Mel. We've got some more calls. I just want everyone listening, just listen to the tone of the voices. These aren't people that say they need 4.5% pay increase.
No.
These are people that are exasperated and desperate in their workplace that are meant to be saving lives, and they're trying their best. Liam, I think we've got you on a better line now, mate.
Hey, how you going?
That's better.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, it's good, mate.
All right, sorry, guys.
No problem.
Yeah, just adding to what Aaron and Mel have said, you know, these situations that are happening every day. Just recently I had a case where a patient's relative found them not responsive, not breathing. So, you know, that's our highest priority. This patient's in cardiac arrest and, you know, is potentially dead. And we had to divert an ambulance from another critically unwell patient to go to this patient. And, you know, subsequently both patients sadly passed away. But it's just, we shouldn't be put in that position. You know, this, like you said, this is a first world health service. There should be appropriate resources to attend both of these critically unwell patients in a timely manner.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Liam. Dean's got a comment. Morning, Dean.
Morning, fellas. Listen, the government is sitting on some money that they haven't spent yet for the events that they're supposed to replace the Calypso with. Go and use it and save some lives right now.
Yeah, good point, Dean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scott from Modbury made the same point.
It's a great point.
On the text line. Look, thanks to everyone who's called in, and I would say again, I mean, 2 weeks ago, the story about the ambulance service was threatening staff about speaking out. I mean, the way we're going here at 5AA, we're going to have spoken to every ambo in South Australia by the end of next week.
Well, I think next week the person we need to speak to is the Health Minister.
100%.
The Health Minister's coming on next week, and we're going to talk about this. I just want to replay something for everyone, because now we've heard it in the context of what dispatchers live through and what they're saying, and we've learnt some of the terminology. Listen back to this bit of audio we played at the start. And every time you hear uncovered, it means no ambulance available to go that person. And then listen to some of the conditions that are being talked about. It's really quick, but have a listen.
Priority 2 traumatised Blackwood uncovered. Priority 2 collapsed case Belair uncovered. Priority 2 chest pain Seacliff uncovered. Priority 2 collapsed case Norwood uncovered. Priority 2 collapsed case St Mary's uncovered. Priority 2 psych case Oaklands Park uncovered. And a Priority 2 abdo pain uncovered at Morpeth Vale.
Chest pains, people collapsing in their homes. Priority 2, as Mel's told us, that's high level. That's not, oh, well, someone's broken a toe. Uncovered.
That's a stressful day at work, isn't it? Right there.
Stressful for anyone who thinks they can pick up the phone and call FIVEaa and get an ambulance too.
Well, 100%. And look, if you've been from the other end, the patient end, if you've got your own stories, folks, we are all ears, because you know this is a story that should be covered at the human being level, which is the way we're doing it. But yeah, it's just that audio. When I got that yesterday afternoon and pinged it through to you guys, I was actually out having dinner with a mate, and I listened to it outside so I could hear it properly. And then I went back and he said, "What are you looking at?" I said, "Mate, I just listened to the most amazing thing."
19 minutes after 8, time to check traffic thanks to Dave Potter Honda. Their Mad March demo clearance is on now with huge savings and factory bonuses across the range.
7-4 South reports of a smashed Samson Road at Bower Road. Fulham Gardens, you're getting reports as well of Tapless Hill Road between Grange Road, Henley Beach Road. Speed restrictions for southbound due to an earlier oil spill. The freeway down track dealing with those roadworks near Cravers, not really causing any real headaches as yet though this morning, which is all good. Now north-south motorway, slight delays towards Regency Road. Looking for the best sleep at the best price? Come discover huge discounts at the 40 Winks Blackout Sale, where until Monday, you'll get dramatic reductions store-wide. 40 Winks, serious about sleep. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie Sport Show.
It looks like David Teague from FIVEaa's the coach that's in the biggest gun before a ball's bounced, Caro.
I don't quite think that's right, but I do agree that Carlton need to make the finals this year.
4 p.m. weekdays.
They need to start well too, or that Bunsen burner will go to a blue flame fair square under his clacker, old Teague. Especially just with the
you do
boxing
have a
gloves
way
on.
with words, don't you?
Well, you know when you get a blue flame, you would have done that in science when it goes blue.
Rowie Sport Show on 5AA.
The Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery has sold out early once again. Thank you, South Australia, for your incredible support. On March 30th, there will be 15,000 winners, and one of them will be living mortgage-free on the Esplanade at Henley Beach. When you purchase a ticket in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery, you join the fight for cures, better treatments, and improved care. The Hospital Research Foundation. Together, fight. Best of luck to everyone in the draws. Licence M13939.
Building amazing homes is important to Beechwood Homes, and so is the environment. So when you build with Beechwood, you're building a better environment for our kids and grandkids. Around 70% of scrap materials from every Beechwood home is recycled. Bricks, rubble, timber, gyprock and steel, none of it goes to landfill. It's all sorted and recycled. So life really is good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Take a look at the stunning Beechwood display home in Blackwood Park.
If you think the only thing better than your Mazda is a new Mazda, now is the right time to upgrade to the next model in the Mazda family. It's a new year, and it's also a great time to take advantage of 2020 plate sales at Mawson Lakes Mazda. We know the only thing more exhilarating than taking a new Mazda for a test drive is taking one home. Mawson Lakes Mazda. Just a short drive from the city, Salisbury Highway.
Keeping your business connected as you grow from here
To here!
It starts with a business mobile plan that helps you work on the go. Search Optus Business today. Great business starts with yes.
You don't always have to be in a physical hospital to receive the care you need. My Home Hospital brings hospital-level care straight to you in the comfort and privacy of your own home. My Home Hospital is a wellbeing SA service and is available at no charge to eligible public patients 24 hours a day, 7 days a week across metropolitan Adelaide. Find out if you're eligible, talk to your doctor or visit myhomehospital.sa.gov.au. My Home Hospital. We bring the care to you. This message brought to you by the Government of South Australia.
9 News, weeknights at 5, nightly at 6. The switch is on to the news that's live and local. 9 News, made in Adelaide. 5AA Breakfast. David, the Music Man Penberthy, and Will Goodings.
There he is.
How did the voiceover guy get raised?
He's in on it.
Conspiracy of
All
ridicule?
of Adelaide is talking about the Music Man David Penberthy. You're a runaway hit.
Well, define hit, mate.
Well, it took a lifetime to make an overnight sensation. That's David Penberthy, the Music Man. We've got tickets to Classic Bruce, an all Adelaide tribute to the songs and music of Bruce Springsteen at Gluttony. Get your tickets now at fringetix.com.au. Call in right now if you want to contest with the Music Man to win the tickets. All you need to do is name the Bruce Springsteen song before David has.
This reminds me of the Arthur Two Sheds Jackson sketch, the great Monty Python sketch. Understand that you were thinking about buying another shed, and they call you Arthur Two Sheds Jackson. Well, they don't. Some of my friends did. Some of my friends did call me the Music Man. It was a long time ago, and really just tried to put it behind.
While we get a caller on, I want to just revisit a couple of texts on a subject that we got to just before 7:30 this morning. A lot of unhappy football supporters about having their seats moved. Text to this like this. on the Telstra Storm Outbarker text line. Same scenario as previous Crows members. 6 rows from the eastern side, comparable seat offering, section 523, row DD. Inaugural members shouldn't be treated like that. Support club with membership donation last year, and this is what we get. Very unhappy. And then this one. Guys, Crows members since 91, children members for 20 years, all gold members and sitting in expensive reserve seats together. The youngest daughter got a random voice memo 2 days ago that she's been shifted from us. Rang the Crows, not their fault, low care factor. Supposed to get a call from someone higher today, not holding my breath. There's clearly some disquiet around the manner in which seats have been moved to accommodate the bays and the shifting. Well, keep sending it in, and we'll collate it and chase it up, because there is a, it's not this weekend that we're talking about, or indeed the weekend after. There's still some weeks away. 8223 0000. You can text us on the Telstra Storm Outbarker text line. It's Music Man time. And he's excited. I think it's growing on you.
It's not.
Earlier on today when you came and I said David and you didn't respond, I said Music Man. You went, yeah. Phil in Highbury's the first caller through.
Hi guys, how are you?
Morning to you,
We're
Phil.
good, thanks, Phil. How are you going, mate? You feeling confident? Do you know your boss?
Look, I've known all the other ones you've played, but I'll start up on.
Well, you're doing better than me, mate. I didn't know that.
Secret Garden.
Secret Garden, yeah.
No, messed that one up.
All right, Phil. We also got Tim in North Haven on the line, who is the Bradbury, an event that you fall over and David wins. Tim will get the tickets. All you need to do is shout out the title of this song, Phil.
Can I go now?
Yep.
It is Thunder Road.
It is. Phil, bad luck to you, mate.
Apologies, mate.
A great song.
It's such a good song.
I'm going to say, I was sitting there singing along thinking, I actually don't know what the name of this song is.
Really? You'd know the name
I know the song. Once I got to the chorus, I'd, of course, realise it. But
first
I'm
song
sitting there going, I
Born to
love
Run.
this song, but
Is it the first song on Born to
I'm not
Run?
sure.
I think it is.
It means
On Born to Run.
we get to play one of the great pieces of American commentary of an Australian sporting moment ever.
Stephen Bradbury of Australia across the line.
That's right. Tim in North Haven, our very own Stephen Bradbury this morning. You're off to Classic Bruce, Tim.
Fantastic, boys. You know what? In my sporting life, I would only ever be at Bradbury. I've never been in front, so I'll take it.
Good on you, Tim.
Well done, mate. You won something for doing
Congratulations to you.
nothing. It's the Australian way.
Classic Bruce and All Out All Adelaide tribute to the songs and music of Bruce Springsteen. You get tickets now at fringetix.com.au.
South Australians have done a great job in helping stop the spread of COVID-19. Now, with the arrival of effective vaccines proven safe around the world, we all need to roll up our sleeves to protect our loved ones, keep our businesses open, keep celebrating with family and friends, and to travel again. Roll up when it's your turn to get vaccinated. For more information, visit covidvaccine.sa.gov.au.
A message from the Government of South Australia.
G'day, Scotty Cam here. With a long weekend just around the corner, now is a cracking time to get stuck into some work around the house. The good news is, your local Mitre 10 is open for everything you need, whether it's great prices on the right products or a bit of mighty helpful advice. So why not pop in, grab the gear you need and make the most of this long weekend. That's mighty helpful, Mitre 10. Check your local store for opening times.
WOM Adelaide is back from this Friday through to Monday. It's a revamped version just for this year with 1 stage and 4 sunset concerts in King Rodney Park. There's an incredible lineup across 4 nights. Midnight Oil, Archie Roach, Sarah Blasco, Tash Sultana, Vika and Linda, Lior with the Adelaide
Vika.
Symphony, Vika. What am I batting at, 50%?
Vika. You're about 1 in 5, I reckon, mate.
Oh, I think
Seriously.
I've got 2 right. I'm 40%.
Sarah Blasco.
Just
Archie Roach.
It's just my
Midnight
accent.
Oi.
Hey, Music Man, do you want me to hit the theme?
No.
Okay, we'll keep reading then.
No, look, WOMAD. WOMAD rules. I love WOMAD. The other week we caught up with Rob Hurst. He's obviously on the skins there for the mighty Midnight Oil, and he was super excited about coming to WOMAD, and why not? Because with the fabulous lineup that was just comprehensively mispronounced by my colleague, you can head along for one night or all 4. WOM Adelaide, seriously, it is a highlight event of Adelaide's cultural calendar. You know how much I love it.
I do. I've seen you. We before, long before we were radio partners, we bumped into each other at WOM Adelaide. I think you were there with Jim.
Yeah. Oh, and the kids were wearing ponchos.
Yeah.
I got my Mexican poncho collection.
It
out.
is I mean, I tell you what, if the
It's
Music
fun.
Man goes there, you know it's a legit music
Oh,
event.
yes.
The Adelaide Festival season, and WOM Adelaide is the jewel in the crown.
It is. I thought the ad had finished. The weather's also looking great. Tickets are selling fast. Get your WOM Adelaide tickets now at womadelaide.com.au.
The Isuzu D-Max is born to live.
You can go your own way.
With 3.5-ton towing, you can bring all the toys. Get off-road and play with 4x4 terrain commands and a rear diff lock. And rock out with Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. Plus, with a 5-star ANCAP safety rating, the 3-litre turbo diesel Isuzu D-Max is born to live. Search Isuzu D-Max.
Ray White Business Sales SA and Business SA. Both are experts at what they do, so they've formed an alliance to help you. Whether you're buying or selling a business or somewhere in between, they'll work together, making sure the business you're going to sell or buy is in top shape. Ray White Business Sales SA and Business SA. Experts in business support and sales. Ready to help you achieve your goals. Call them today. 8300 0000.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Sneaking a little field watch before 5AA News, thanks to Dave Potter. The average has come down. I think 2 weeks ago, $1.30 would have said, oh, it's a little expensive. Right now, it feels like it's suddenly cheap. It's come down from $1.60 to the $1.30 range. The cheapest, though, the Costco on Churchill Road, Kilburn, $1.15. The United on Main North Road, Paraka, $1.14. And the Mobil on Hamilton Terrace at Newton is $1. $1! Wow. Avoid West Lakes and Henley Beach, which is great if you live in Grange like me. Prices are up around $1.50. Back with more in a moment.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy and 26 with the 8:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettick.
Woken with a stiff neck or sore back? Get a Physio Extra appointment today. 6 locations, physioextra.com.
The first AstraZeneca jab in Australia has been given at the Murray Bridge Hospital. Dr Caroline Fagans, the Director of Medical Services at the hospital, and is one of the frontline workers who will be receiving the jab today. While progress of the rollout will be a key discussion point in today's National Cabinet meeting, Premier Stephen Marshall says it has a long agenda.
Yeah, well, obviously we'll be talking predominantly about the vaccination program, but also international caps and the mobility of labour from overseas into Australia to assist, especially in regional Australia, where we have got some labour shortages at the moment.
And Australia is set to miss out on 250,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine after Italy banned the export in accordance with EU guidelines. More from the BBC's Mark Lowen.
This is a move by Italy's new Prime Minister, Mario Draghi, that is making the most of a new EU-wide programme, which was announced at the end of January, in which vaccine manufacturers must request permission from the country in which the vaccine is produced before exporting those jabs. And it comes, of course, amidst this global race for vaccines and amidst the anger at vaccine manufacturers for failing to produce and failing to deliver the number of vaccines that they had agreed with EU countries.
Residents on New Zealand's North Island have been evacuated due to the threat of a tsunami after a magnitude 8 earthquake. Robbins in Northland.
Everybody has heeded the warnings and people have left. As I said, there's cars everywhere, all on hilly ground, so we've all done the right thing and disappeared.
Other nations in the Pacific are also on tsunami watch. It follows a 7.1 magnitude earthquake overnight. A man has drowned off Outer Harbour after a boat capsized and sank last night. The alarm was raised just after 6:15 when the 15-foot fiberglass boat suffered engine trouble and crashed near the southern breakwater. 2 men fell into the water. One was winched to safety by the Polair chopper, but the second, a 77-year-old from Windsor Gardens, was found unresponsive in the water. A man's in hospital after being stabbed in the back at Wingfield last night. Senior Constable Kate Dawson says it followed a violent altercation between 2 men on Graham Street.
36-year-old man who is known to the victim was arrested by police at the scene and he's been charged with attempt murder. He's been refused bail and will appear in the Port Adelaide Magistrates Court today.
A man's died in hospital following a crash at Seaton this week. The 65-year-old was hit by a truck on Tapleys Hill Road on Wednesday afternoon. He suffered critical injuries and died yesterday. The truckie, a 67-year-old man from Crafers, wasn't injured. The man's death is the 18th life lost on our roads, compared to 16 at the same time a year ago. Weeks after being admitted to hospital with an infection, Prince Philip has now undergone a procedure for a pre-existing heart condition. Buckingham Palace says the 99-year-old will remain in hospital for a number of days for further treatment and rest. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Flurio milk comes from local cows and it's bottled right here. Look for the local Flurio Milk Company.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Port Adelaide defender Ryan Burton is confident he'll have a better run with injury this season. He played only 8 of 19 matches in 2020, but the 24-year-old told Rowie he's going much better this pre-season.
I've just trained 3 times a week and managed to get through really well and, haven't had any setbacks, which has been really nice.
Still on footy, and St Kilda beat Carlton by 26 points last night to kick off the pre-season matches. The teams combining for 34 goals in a high-scoring contest. Saints coach Brett Ratton says the new man-on-the-mark rule will have an impact.
I think it showed that the game is quicker with the man-on-the-mark rule. Teams are looking for it, and the flow in the game, and the rotations are limited. So it's going to be interesting how much scoring goes through the roof or strategies that teams come up with, because it's going to challenge the players.
To soccer, and in the English Premier League, it's almost full time with Chelsea clinging to a 1-0 lead against Liverpool. Earlier, Everton jumped into the top 4 following a 1-0 win against West Brom, while 1 goal was also enough for Tottenham.
Tottenham go in front, devastating on the counter-attack. Fulham surrendering possession.
Briefly elsewhere, South Australia slumped to the bottom of the one-day ladder after being smashed by 6 wickets against New South Wales. The Adelaide 36ers have suffered a third straight loss in the NBL, going down to Illawarra by 9 points. And Canadian Corey Connors is now the outright leader at 7 under. That's very late in the opening round of the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Dave Potter, Australia's #1 selling Honda dealer. For a new car, make them your #1 choice.
Urbray, Waite Road, just off Cross Road, a 2-car smash. Ridgety Road, Humphreys Road, debris on the road for a car and a truck smash earlier. And reports of an earlier accident, South Road in Glandore, just past Anzac Highway, but may have been cleared. It's the final days of Anaconda's massive 20 to 50% off store-wide sale. Some exclusions apply. Shop in store or online now at Anaconda. Play more, pay less. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Make sure you and your car stay cool with aircon and cooling services. Call 1300 Automasters.
Partly cloudy and 26 today. Saturday sunny and 28. Cloudy for Sunday 29 and cloudy again on Monday 27. At the moment 16. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Lots of talk of tickets coming through on the Telstra Storm Outmarket text line at the moment. Not a lot of happy Crow supporters for the movement that's come about as a result of reduced capacity. Lots coming in. There's a big issue clearly simmering under the surface there. John Blake, not too far away. We'll go behind closed doors shortly.
Now, over the next 5 minutes, we're going to do something that I think it's bizarre and weird that in 2021, and I say this as one of 2 men sitting in a radio studio together, we hardly ever talk about this, and I, for the life of me, cannot understand why. It is the completely unremarkable fact that women have periods. Now, this is a completely necessary and natural biological process, but for all sorts of weird historic and cultural and in some cases religious reasons, there's a huge stigma that has built up around it. And in some parts of the world, it actually means that women have to stop having an education. It means that they are more vulnerable to developing reproductive illnesses and so forth. And the reason we're talking about it is that there's a remarkable woman here in South Australia, a young woman by the name of Isabel Marshall, who has just been recognised as the Young Australian of the Year, nationally that is, for 2021. And it all stems from the work that she does, and these people, they're all volunteers, at an amazing Adelaide-based business called Taboo. We have Isabel on the line now. Isabel, good morning, and thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Sorry about my somewhat clunky introduction there.
No, you actually summarised that so perfectly, and my hat goes off to you for having the confidence just to say it how it is. I love it.
Well, it is weird though, isn't it?
It is.
Why does this stigma exist? I just can't for the life of me understand it. And we sort of tiptoe around it.
Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, exactly. That's the question I ask myself every day. The reality is that half of our population bleeds every month, and that's on average about a week of every month. So that's a quarter of the reproductive years of a woman who makes up half of our population. And, of course, this is a biological process that actually gives us as humans life and continues our species. So this is certainly something we need to talk about, and it's certainly not be the cause of a lot of disadvantage that people who bleed face because of that weekly, that monthly biological function. So, yeah, you're so right. About 30% of girls in developing countries drop out of school just because they have their period, and that might be because they can't afford the products to mop up the blood, so they might have to use very unreliable, unhygienic alternatives such as like kitchen sponges or mattress rippings or even tree bark in some reports.
Oh, God.
So that's the reason they don't go to school is because of that, but also because of this intense stigma around menstruation and the risk that if they bleed onto their uniforms, they will be shamed because it's a process that's considered very shameful. They're sort of the things that we're challenging through the sale of our own brand of pads and tampons. So we sell those products to Australian customers, and then our profits on all of our business activities are surrounding kind of eradicating that what's termed period poverty.
And the company that you've set up is called Taboo, obviously because of the taboo that surrounds it. Now, I know that the statistics around countries in the developing world with young women dropping out of school and so forth, they're pretty bracing. But there's still a lot of inequality when it comes to it in Australia as well, because you have a lot of girls who still get sent to school without the products that they need.
Certainly, yeah. Well, at the end of the day, these products cost quite a bit of money. And if you're, as I said before, bleeding once a week, every month, that's actually quite a bit of money that needs to be spent on purely those products, let alone all the extra things like pain relief if it's needed, or other supporting products and services. So it can be quite an expensive process, and it's very exciting that the SA government has just committed to funding the provision of sanitary products in public schools around SA. That's a massively helpful step.
Yeah.
But of course, that needs to be backed up with education resources as well, so that girls still are given space to talk about it and to learn about it, as opposed to just discreetly grabbing a free pad, which is fantastic, but there's such an element of education that needs to kind of support that whole system.
I got to say, without wanting to go sort of full Germaine Greer on this issue, I've always felt like if you needed one example of the proof that historically men have totally run politics, it was the fact that for a long time tampons and pads attracted a luxury tax. Like they were taxed like buying a Maybelline lipstick or something like that.
Isn't that absurd? Yeah.
Hey, Isabel, the whole business is so impressive. So you sell the products here in Australia, and then you the money you raise, you help out in some of these countries and these places that are disadvantaged, Kenya, Afghanistan, Nepal and others that you mention on your website. The thing that I can't get my head around is how you distribute money and raise awareness in those places where these problems exist, because there's no appreciation of the problem, I'm assuming. There's no infrastructure that exists. So how do you get in and fix that from afar?
Yeah, so when Eloise Hall, my business partner, and I first came up with the idea, our focus was certainly in developing countries, and we were just still learning. This was just in year 12. We were still learning about the issues that existed and kind of where our hearts were at to work in. And we ended up going to Kenya and India on a little research trip, which we learned so much, going to lots of rural Kenyan schools in Masai Mara areas, and that was completely eye-opening. But what we discovered was that, as you were saying, these issues are so complex and so layered and so ingrained in specific and very local cultures and communities. So we decided that the most effective an authentic way to help out in this area is to support organisations that have already done the groundwork in those areas, that have partnered with lots of local women and local people who can communicate the issues really well in local language and using vocabulary that's understood in that area, and being aware of all the intricacies involved. So for that reason, we partnered with our charity partner One Girl, who works specifically in Sierra Leone and Uganda.
Yeah, right. It's great work that
It
you've
is.
done, and it's great that it's happened all here in little old Adelaide.
Can we
too.
ask you too, Isabel? You're a young Australian of the year. How old are you?
I'm 22.
Yeah, right.
22.
Excellent. And how long has 2B been going for?
4 years.
Yeah, right. It's fascinating. Well, good on you.
Wow.
Well, thank you. We've got such an incredible team, and my co-founder Eloise Hull, she's just about to turn 22. She's 21 at the moment, and but we've got this incredible team of 10. 8 of us are in FA and 2 in Victoria, and we're all just so passionate about this cause, and we have so much fun together, lots of creativity and lots of ideas and energy for the cause.
Clearly. Well,
yeah,
good on you.
Absolutely.
That's great. We love the chat, Isabel.
Thank you
well
so
done.
much.
Congratulations.
Thank you for talking about it as well. I really appreciate it.
No
Thank
worries.
you for coming on. That's the young Australian of the year, Isabel Marshall.
It is weird.
22 years old.
Yeah, it's excellent. It is weird, though, the extent to which we get tongue-tied and squeamish and weird about it, isn't it? Like, you hear me stumbling over my words at the start there, because it's not something you normally discuss.
Which is the source of the issues, clearly, isn't it?
Well, you think about it. Like, I mean, I can remember, you go to any church in Latin America, and there's signs out the front saying women are not allowed to come in, if they haven't got their head covered, but also they're not allowed in if they're menstruating.
Really?
Yeah, that's the rule. I mean, I don't know how you enforce it, but
imagine
you think about it in advertising too in Australia, like this whole euphemistic sort of treatment of the issue has sprung up. Where, I mean, if you look at like historically the ads for Carefree and what have you, it seems that one of the immediate byproducts of menstruation is that you feel the urge to get into a open top Suzuki Jimny and drive down the beach with the wind in your hair. Like all of the ads are like, here's a girl having the time of her life. It's like, what's that got to do with what we're actually talking about here? It's weird.
But then imagine, so that's the stigma that exists in this country. Imagine being 17 or 18 and going, well, there are countries where it's regarded as the sign that it's time for you to drop out of school. How do we change that?
I know.
And you go, well, that's what we're going to do. Like,
Yeah.
It's just...
Have you ever had to buy them?
Yes.
Yeah. But do you feel a bit odd? Like,
well, I generally don't think that anyone assumes they're for me.
Well, in 2021, who knows? But it's just silly that we do get.
You feel odd when you stand there and you're like, because it's not a regular occurrence, and you're going, so what am I meant to, hang on, which ones? It ends up you look like you're trying to find a library book. 30 minutes to 9. Let's check traffic thanks to Dave Potter Honda. Their Mad March demo clearance is on now with huge savings and factory bonuses across the range.
Glandora smashed city-bound around the Crossroad on-ramp, causing minor delays. Wait Road Urbray is smashed there near Crossroad, and Ridgesy Road Humphreys Road in Kilkenny. IKEA family members save $50 off your next purchase when you spend over $250 in store. This IKEA family offer ends Sunday, March 14. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Thanks to Light and Easy, Australians of all ages can enjoy their choice of delicious, nutritious meals in the comfort of their own home. Especially those of us getting a little older, as we need to keep eating well to age well. If you or someone close to you could benefit by having Light and Easy's delicious, healthy meals delivered to their door, visit lightandeasy.com.au or call us on 13 15 12.
Pardon?
Sorry? Huh?
What? Pardon?
Sorry? Huh?
What?
It's time to stop ignoring the whats, especially with hearing loss linked to other health issues. At Audica, we offer a no-obligation free trial of our hearing devices because we want you to feel comfortable wearing them. We specialise in personal hearing health that's tailored to you. Visit audica.com.au to book your free hearing health check. Be hearing healthy with Audica. Available to adults aged 26 or over.
Sold by McGain again.
And right now they're all selling really quickly, so our advice is get along to these open inspections.
So tomorrow from 11:30 to 12, Mike Dobbin and Zoe Ball are opening 22 Leesa Road, Happy Valley, this lovely 4-bedroom home. Features a renovated ensuite and bathroom, large open-plan living area, renovated kitchen, large entertaining area, plus undercover parking. 495 to 545K.
And on Sunday from 11 to 11:30am, Mike and Zoe will be opening 41 Horndale Drive, Happy Valley. This large 2-storey home has it all. 3 living areas, a balcony with views, renovated kitchen, huge undercover entertaining area, half-court tennis to top it all off. All this on a landscaped and whopping 1,080 square metre block, 699 to 765K.
Serious block. For all the info, take a look at these properties and all of them again listings at realestate.com.au.
Save up to 55% off Sealy Posturepedic Exquisite discontinued floor stock mattresses and ensembles now at Harvey Norman. Now's the time to upgrade your mattress and support Australian-made manufacturing. Plus, purchase with 60 months interest-free and receive a bonus gift card up to the value of $500. Minimum finance amount $1,000. Approved applicants only. 60 equal monthly payments. Interest applies if you do not comply with terms and conditions. Fees and exclusions apply. Save up to 55% off Sealy Posturepedic Exquisite discontinued floor stock mattresses and ensembles now at Harvey Norman.
The all-new Nissan Juke comes with Apple CarPlay and a standard 5-year warranty. Plus, low monthly repayments if you finance with Nissan Future Value. Nissan Juke. Let's improvise. Approved private and ABN applicants only. T's and C's apply.
9 News, weeknights at 5, nightly at 6. The switch is on to the news that's live and local. 9 News, made in Adelaide. Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
9 minutes to 9. Thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, interstate freight, distribution, warehousing and local Adelaide couriers. Call Aussie Fast 131364. It's time for John Blake.
And when we get behind
$13.95, Adelaide's 5AA. This is Tony Pilkington.
Yeah, hello everybody and welcome along to Afternoons as we do in this Adelaide of ours, and the interactive number is 8223 0000. That's that number of ours. A lot of people concerned about the Chinese consulate that's been built in Joslin in the middle of the suburbia, if you don't mind, and lo and behold it's staffed by 12 Chinese. 12 Chinese. You've got the Chinese consulate staffed by 12 Chinese. Why do they need 12, for God's sake? 12 Chinese. What are they doing in there that requires 12 Chinese? Because I can't think of anything that requires 12 Chinese. And they've got cameras up and what a bag of what's her name. Alrighty, Jeff's giving us a call about some petrol prices. G'day, Jeff.
Oh, g'day, Pilco. The Liberty at Elizabeth North's, I see, has got petrol for $1.12.
$1.12?
Yeah.
12. That's coincidentally the number of Chinese that are in that consulate there.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
Oh, I tell you what, it makes you want to squirt the squam out of them.
The what?
I mean, really, why would you need 12 of them? There are very few. International. There's Alrighty, thanks for your call. John's given us a call on that interactive number of ours. G'day, John.
Oh, hi, Pilco. This Chinese consulate that's been put up in Joslin.
Oh, yeah, what the
Yeah, you said there were 12 people staffing it.
Yeah, 12 of them. Oh, God, no.
So how many people would normally staff a consulate, from other countries?
I wouldn't be able to say, John. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. No.
All right.
Just seems to me as like a hell of a lot of Chinese.
Yeah.
Because, it wouldn't matter what you're doing. You wouldn't need that many Chinese.
No.
Well, it is about 3 times as many as the Italian and the Greek consulate.
Yes.
In relation to that listener's question. They put their flag up this week.
Yeah.
Which is what you do when you've got a consulate. The Australian consulate and embassies in China would have Australian flags.
Suburban consulate sounds like a weekly serial, like a comedy show, like a set piece Sunday night, 7:30 family drama.
That's a good idea.
Weekend
that
consulate.
Could help sort of smooth things over a bit.
Starring Tim Allen as, anyway, I don't know.
The Zany Consul.
6 minutes to 9.
Attention business owners and ABN holders. Wow, it's March already. If you want to take delivery of a new Toyota before June 30, you have got to get your order in now at Peter Kittle Toyota. Don't write it on a sticky note. Don't try to remember it. Just get it done. Place your end of financial year business car order before the end of March or you could miss out. Call or visit peterkittletoyota.com.au and place your order with our team of fleet specialists. Job done. Peter Kittle Toyota. Car buying made easy. MDL 284343.
Can't hear all that now, can you? That's because this home has a Jolong double-glazed window and door system featuring high-performance sound insulation and heat resistance. That's not all Jolong can do for you. They can also help design your home with the light luxury and elegance you desire. And Jolong is on this journey with you for life, with lifetime service. Visit jolong.com.au.
The Barossa Valley is gorgeous, which is why it makes sense to make the Vine change to retirement living in Barossa Village in Anguston, Tanunda and Nooriutpa. It's the retirement lifestyle you deserve, and your pets too. Yes, your pets are your family, so you should never have to choose between your lifestyle and your beloved animals. Make the Vine change at Barossa Village, under an hour from the city. Find out more at barossavillage.org.
Is that one there? No. Oh, found one. Maybe not. Small car hiding behind the big ones. Oh, are they leaving? No, they're getting their bags out the back. I'll just do one more lap.
The worst part about shopping is you usually spend more time looking for a park than in the shops. Not at Newton Central. With access to over 500 car parks, you'll never have to do one more lap of the parking lot before you shop. Newton Central, Gorge Road, Newton.
Get up to $100 instant cash back on top tyre brands at Bob Jane T-Marts. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
4 to 9, Leon Bonner coming up after 9 o'clock. We're going to give away a meat tray in just a moment. Thanks to Nick and the team at Three Little Pigs Gourmet Butcher, famous for their pork, fennel and chilli sausages.
Yum.
They will go a long way on the long weekend, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be in the meat tray too.
Good thing to do with them, squeeze the filling out of the casing into a fry pan and on a really high heat and put in some sliced onions and then beat up like 4 to 6 eggs and then tip it on top of all the cooked sausage, meat and onion and make like a frittata.
Oh.
It's great for breakfast. That's a Gordon Ramsay recipe.
Sounds fun.
Sounds
like a lot of effort for breakfast.
Mate, it's what? Squeeze the sausage meat, cut an onion, crack eggs, pour on top. It takes you about 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's too much effort, but it sounds delicious. So if you want to have me over and cook me breakfast, I'll definitely come.
Too much effort.
The Three Little Pigs Gourmet Butcher is at 436 Henley Beach Road, Lockleys. Lots of text still coming in on the ticket issue.
Oh, look, we've got a mountain of texts, and without wanting to put words in a Rowy's mouth, I reckon this is going to be a huge talker throughout the sports show this afternoon, because there are clearly many people, like Chris here. I've been a Crows member for 20 years. My 2 season tickets side by side on level 1 have been reallocated to the nosebleed level 5 and in 2 different sections. Not happy. Another one here from Gary. Hi, Dave and Will. Crows current seats for 3 people, section 137, row G. Now moved to section 542, row W, section 544, row N, and section 544, row T. So they're not even sitting together.
What?
Yeah. Email advised reallocation to a seat in same category or next best available. Not happy, Jan. From Gary. There are dozens of messages, and we've had some emails too. Why has this happened? Is it because of the numbers?
Yeah, it's because of the numbers. So as that Andrew Daniels clip that was from Rowie Sports Show last night, sounds like there needs to be 2 spare rows between these pods worth of people. So that's where they've taken out the capacity. It's down to 40,000. But it doesn't sound like it would have been that. I mean, it sounds like it's been resolved by a computer program, frankly, because it's a little bit of a puzzle moving the people around. One of 2 things has either happened here. Maybe they should never have said you'll have something very similar to what you've got. Maybe that's not possible.
Why does it seem to be a Crows thing rather than a Port thing? Is it purely because the Crows have got more members?
I think it's numbers, yeah. 11 game members.
Yeah, so this is the people who go to every home game, and there's many more of them at the Crows.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, let's give away a meat tray.
Let's do it for today's question.
And actually, you know what? With the challenge, whoever wins it, I want to see them make your breakfast.
Yeah,
Squeeze out the sausage, put the eggs on.
It's a really good
make
breakfast.
the frittata.
But the key is you've got to get the pan really hot because you want the sausage to sort of caramelise and the onion.
So who's
bit of diced flat leaf parsley in there too. Thank you. We'll probably add another 15 seconds to the preparation of it, Will, which you might bulk at.
15 seconds too many. You long cereal and milk takes?
That's right. Hey, Tom, you've won for your wonderful call about your excellent wife, Vicky, who did such a great job looking after you and homeschooling the kids last year during the lockdown. You're the winner of the meat tray. Have a great long weekend, everyone, and to everyone who's working, thank you for soldiering on, but we will not be like most of South Australia, so have a great time with your family and friends.